go to the intro. We are live for another episode of Mics and Magic with the Heart of Svothgos, now properly aligned. Heart of Svothgos, right?
Svothgos.
Yeah. How did we agree to let Evan say the name?
I know.
Well, take it away, Guildmaster. You go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Wrestler. I will be your Guildmaster for this adventure. Part 2 of 4 for Heart of Svothgos. And these fine players are my players. Feel free to introduce yourselves and your characters.
Hi, so my name is Erin Campbell. I am playing a Rakdos named Calamity Jane, and I've been having so much fun. We had so much fun the first night. I've spent every day since then just figuring out what we're going to do next. I've been going over my character sheet and Googling things just so I can understand them a little bit better. And it sounds like we're in for a really action-packed night, so bring it on.
Yeah, I am Evan Irwin. I am playing Gerbian Clinkbottom, also known as Gerb. He is your favorite little goblin friend who's doing crazy, wacky stuff all the time. And, we're going to talk to Gerb later. Gerb is real excited. He really wants to do this, you guys. I'm really pumped.
The accent, I think, really, people really responded to the Gerb chatter. I may have to do the Gerb for the bit reading later. For the other show. But speaking of which, you can donate to this here program with your bits and your donations. Evan, hopefully we have that slide available.
We do have that slide available. We'll bring it up right now. And actually, it's also a box down below.
Oh, excellent news. So you can scroll down below and take a look at our box. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
So among the donations that you can give us are 200 bits or $2 to impose disadvantage on the next die roll made by Evan, Aaron, or myself, the Dungeon Master. For 500 bits, you can give a re-roll to any of the three of us for us to save and use whenever we see fit. For 1,000 bits, you can award someone an automatic natural 20, which is a critical success, an automatic success to any of the three of us. And for 2,500 bits, you could create an NPC or a situation or something to happen or introduce during the flow of the game that I will work into the narrative of the story. And at the rate of 1 bit per 1 gold piece, rounded to the nearest 69, Nice. You can buy items for the players, and our players have many items already.
You got a pony!
Including ponies, which are currently parked somewhere else.
I'm very worried about my pony.
Hopefully your horses...
For real.
Hopefully you got your horses in the back, and they're hitched up somewhere. You've also got a bomb, if I'm not mistaken.
Got ball bearings.
Got 2 remaining bags of ball bearings. Hopefully you guys wrote down all of the things that were given to you by chat, because that's not my job. And I will give you a brief overview of where we are in the adventure so far. Previously, on the Heart of Svothgos, Gerbian Clinkbottom and Calamity Jane met up with Nazius Ven, a arbiter officer of the Guild Pact, who gave them a clandestine mission to hunt down and capture the escaped convict Krenko, one of the goblin mob bosses of the city of Ravnica, here in the 10th district of Ravnica, sort of the Manhattan of the whole city. He had escaped during a prison transfer, very Mission Impossible style, between Sawtooth Prison and Udsdeck, maximum security prison. And during that transfer, he was swiftly rescued by forces as to yet unseen by the players. The two characters were hired, paid, and told to investigate what they could about the prison break. And they did so, first heading over to the Tin Street Market region, where they followed up on some, they got some rumors, they gathered some chatter, they had a nice evening with a Minotaur barkeep, who sent them to Nagra, who is an alchemist and owns a shop over in the Tin Street, who pointed them towards Baelish, the weaponsmith's hidden apartment, which they tried to break into and triggered a trap on, which led to like a sewer chase scene in which they had to they came across some pack rats and had to deal with them quite swiftly. Fortunately, Gerb knows Baelish a little bit, and so she didn't light them on fire. Instead, telling them that there is to be a weapons drop / meat / you don't have a ton of details, that Krenko's forces are picking up weapons from the weapons dealer tomorrow evening. You all went to bed at various beds across the 10th district, and some failed perception checks later. Looks like you're just having a nice evening with nothing suspicious happening at all. And that's where we end up. So we're going to cut to the next morning.
Okay.
Nothing happened during the night. You didn't get stabbed, Lord of the Rings style, in the middle of the night. And you are up and have the day ahead of you.
Oh,
what
wow.
would you like to do?
So I wake up in a panic. Like, where's my pony? Where's my pony? Lucky the pony was my favorite pony. It's the only pony I ever had. It's still my lucky and my favorite one, even if it's just one.
Right.
Can I go get my pony? Where my pony at?
You can. So you remember that you left your horses in the back in an alley, behind a bar where Baelish's entrance was sort of stapled into the wall.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you know you left those ponies back there, and you can see if they're still there.
Is Calamity nearby? Is she hanging out?
Calamity, what's up?
So I have a different approach. So I don't know if I remember correctly. The Vidalcan who gave us our orders, didn't he say something about the Selesnya being involved somehow? Like I remember that kind of sticking in my memory.
So there was you don't know about the Selesnya per se.
We know we got ponies.
You know,
And
Because
where the ponies?
the reason why it jumped out at me is because I have a non-Rakdos contact who's Celestia, and I remember making a mental note of that name kind of jumping out at me and going, maybe I should use my contact and find out more about that. But I do remember the S word coming up.
Yes. So there was a sky swimmer
Okay.
that was a part of the breakout that intercepted Krenko's escort.
Isn't that Simic?
That's Simic as opposed to
Okay.
Selesnya.
I could have sworn this.
However, you can go talk to your Selesnya contact.
No. It was just if I remembered it correctly, then I would do that. But if it's
Okay.
not on the table, then that's fine.
Sure. You have the more. Where did you spend the night, by the way?
Where you spend the night, Calamity? Was it hairy?
It might be.
Was it
might be
warm?
relevant.
Now, clarify. I'm in the inn, but I'm not in the same bed. I have my own bed
Okay.
in the inn that the bartender works at.
Well, I don't know, Calamity. What do you want?
Fair.
You tell me. What bed you
So-
slept in last night?
You spent the night at the inn, and as you come downstairs, Wyroon, the barkeep, is scrubbing the tables and cleaning up the bar, and gives you a little wink and a nod as you head out.
I bet that ain't all I gave her.
Calm down. And as you step outside in the brisk morning air, You do, in fact, tell me about your Celestia contact.
So it's listed as a non-Rakdos contact, a Celestia healer.
Okay. So you do indeed have a Celestian healer that I'm going to decide is Tuturu, which is going to make a cameo appearance from the Broken Pact here.
Oh, okay.
This is played by Ashlyn Rose during our normal live stream.
Is she bringing a cow? Because I have a cow now.
We'll get there.
Okay.
So Ashlyn is Ashlyn's character, Tuturu, is a Loxodon cleric who meets you out front as she is heading to do some sort of job somewhere else, and she says, "Hey, Jane! Hi!
Hey, how's it going? What?
I'm fancy seeing you here. I'm just doing some chores for the orphanage, dropping some things off, and cool seeing you around here."
Yeah, this doesn't really seem like your turf. Like,
no, not normally, no, but life's been weird recently. So I'm just taking some stuff over to the orphan, and you see that she's pulling a cow that has a wagon behind it that is loaded up with supplies of various kinds, some boxes, some crates, some flowers. You can see some baguettes poking out of the paper bags that are loaded in the cart, and says, "So what are you doing? What are you doing around here? This isn't normally your kind of scene."
So at this point, I would walk over to one of the bags and just kind of take one of the baguettes and just start peeling it apart as I'm talking, like, no, not asking permission, just whoop. And I would just kind of take apart the baguette and I'd be like, "Oh, I've just been, killing time, just looking for a good time, and just hanging out with an old friend." And I would glance back and look at the bartender, and I would just try to answer as briefly as possible while just nibbling on this delicious baguette here.
Great. Well, that's excellent. It's right around the corner. If you want this cow, I would be happy to leave. This is Betty, by the way, Betty the cow, and Betty sort of nonplussed the cow. But you have a cow, if you would like it.
Okay.
So I'll take this stuff over, and you have a good day. Okay.
Yeah, thanks. It was good to see you.
Great, absolutely. You too. It's really nice. We should catch up sometime. And she will head off with the cart in her hands and continue down the cobblestone streets. You now have a cow. Meanwhile, across town, Evan, Gerb, comes to the alley, and your ponies are indeed there. You were good enough to hitch them up to a post. They've been nibbling on what appears to be a bale of moss of some kind. This is not uncommon. This is just, something that they can nibble on.
I don't know if it's very healthy, personally.
And you have them.
Yay, and they move fast, too. They got magical hooves.
They do. You sense that the pitter-patter of their hooved back feet, as they have 4 magic hooves between them, are still a pitter-pattering away.
So we gotta go find Jane, right?
Right.
Let's go get her. I take one pony and the other one follows right behind.
You would think so, wouldn't you? I would need an animal handling check from you, Herb, to see how successful you are at leading the other pony with you.
Okay. D20.
Yep, D20.
And is there a modifier on this one?
There will be.
Okay.
There was going to be a wisdom, I believe this is wisdom, animal handling.
Okay. That's the -10 divide.
Also, if you have proficiency with riding animals, then you can add that as well. Animal handling is indeed wisdom.
Okay. Let me. I don't have any wisdom bonuses, I don't think.
Okay.
Let me see here. I have I have proficiency in intelligence and wisdom.
Okay. So you have proficiency, which means you can add your bonus,
which is +2, which is good.
Yep.
Sorry, I've been trying to use a fillable PDF thing, and it's
no worries.
Insight, investigation, and medicine. That's me. Okay.
If you have proficiency in mounted riding, then you can add that as well.
I do not, but I have wisdom, so I can have +2 to this. All right, here we go. Ooh, 19. Turns out I'm 21.
Plenty enough. The ponies are going to hang out with each other in general. and you are more than capable of. You see that they really enjoy this pungent moss that is sort of like hay that has been sitting in a rainstorm for a while. So it's got that like grainy. You grew up in the South, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know what's up. I know what's
Yeah,
up. That's
so you
right.
got this like nice loamy grass that you're able to lead the other horse with, and you head back to Wyroon's tavern there at the Millstone. Aaron, you have a cow.
Aaron, you got a cow? You have a cow? It's a big cow. What are you doing with the cow?
So Calamity's just kind of outside having her coffee, enjoying this baguette that she stole, and
Now with milk. Cow. Because anyway.
So she's just outside. She's just enjoying the morning, having a coffee, thinking back on what happened the previous night, just kind of processing everything. And I assume Gerb just kind of rolls up at this point.
Yep.
Okay.
And y'all are out front.
Okay.
I brought your pony.
Thank you. You seem to have taken to these horses pretty quickly.
I like my animal. You got a cow.
I do. A friend of mine was in the neighborhood and left her here. So if you know anything we can do with a cow.
We can eat it.
I would like to not do that unless we have to.
We can eat it.
We can eat it. So what brings you here?
We gotta keep going. We gotta find Krenko.
We do. It's a little bit early for this, but all right.
It is a little bit early for your planned adventure, as you know, as was discussed. Falish gave you a time and a place this evening, but you do have the day to look around, snoop around, and do whatever it is that you think might be relevant.
If I remember correctly, when we ended the last episode, we ended up, I think, in a Golgari area. That wasn't there like a shed and like two paths, and there was one that had like footsteps and one didn't?
Correct. So you ended last game sort of on the southern boundary of the Foundry Street area.
Okay.
Sort of in the Canal District. There are many canals that sneak out from Zonot 7 in the western portion of the 10th District. And a lot of them end up going into the Dead Bridge because the Dead Bridge is hundreds of feet lower than the rest of the 10th District. And so the sort of canal waterfalls end up dripping
So
down.
all of this to me sounds like a neighborhood that would be better off in the daylight or, so I'd like to go back to where we were and see if it's different in sunshine.
Great.
I'm scared. But okay, let's do it.
Don't have a cow.
I don't. You're the cow have around here.
Gerbian doesn't get this at all. Gerbian does not. That is
right.
So you nice cow.
You begin taking your. I've got a fast cow. All right.
If I could put the hooves on the cow.
You have 4 magic shoes.
It's going to need all 4.
I'm just going to leave the cow here for a rainy day. But...
Leave it here at Wyroon's?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You're going to give it to Wyroon? Wait a minute. He does that.
Wow. So to clarify, you're leaving the cow at the Millstone.
Yep.
Okay. And you are taking the ponies back to where you were the night before.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. It takes maybe half an hour. It's not too busy out. Nice weather today, a little brisk. It is still fall in Ravnica, so it's one of those nice Indian summer kind of days, early October-ish here. This would be during the month of, I believe this is the month of Golgar, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I can actually find that out. But you make your way across town back to where you it is Golgar. Back to where you came out of the drain the night before. The drain is still there. The footprints that you had seen are now more faded than they even were, barely distinguishable, though the human footprints are a little bit better. This particular neighborhood is in the Foundry Street. This is in near Shadow Alley district. Leading into the Golgari-controlled Dead Bridge area, almost to the Orzhov mausoleums, that are on the western center portion of the 10th district. But you're right at the south point of the Foundry Street area, which is where a lot of the manufacturing happens. So there's lots of warehouses, lots of factories. There's lots of hustle and bustle right now. There's also the meatpacking district is here in the Foundry Street. There's plenty of places to. It's not as big as the Tin Street in terms of a market district, but there's still places, particularly to buy armor and other metal goods. And the other thing about the Foundry Street region is that it is significantly higher goblin population than even the Tin Street. Probably half of the people in Foundry Street that you see, dock workers and people moving carts and moving companies, things like that, are goblinoid.
So I could have sworn.
It's okay. I got a lot of family works around here. It's really nice.
So I could have sworn there was like a clear path. Like I could have sworn we got out of the sewer and then there was like a path 1 and path 2.
Yes, there was.
And so
if you're at the sewer grate and you can recall where the footprints went the night before. One set of footprints went essentially northeast, and you did not follow that track. The Faelish's footprints went southwest, closer to the Golgari district. Not quite there yet, but on the water's edge, to a smaller sort of pier warehouse wharf kind of situation. Where she was waiting. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, so you're saying one of the roads we've already traveled down.
Correct.
Okay, I'd like to go to the other one.
Great.
Okay.
Survival check, please, to see if you can follow these footprints. Now, it has been another rainy night, so these footprints are going to be even harder, meaning the difficulty check is going to be higher.
It's an 11.
Okay.
A 12.
Yeah, not gonna do it this time. Unfortunately, you're able to follow the tracks, but at some point they end. Maybe a block and a half later, you're no longer able to follow the tracks. The busy foot traffic of the district has, you can't really see the forest for the trees, right? So all of the footprints are now interacting with each other, and you don't know which ones lead where. But in the middle of this particular area, this does appear to be sort of a fish market kind of area. Lots of mongers of various kinds selling the catch from the Zonot and from the canals in this particular well busy area.
Jane, I'm really hungry.
I suppose we can stop and get something to eat.
I mean, you had the baguette. I got nothing.
All right, let's get you some food, Gerb.
Awesome.
Okay, there are many stalls. There are a couple of brick and mortar restaurants as well. You're able to stop and get a fish on a stick, or some Nimbus bites, or whatever and what have you. Sky Swimmer souffle is also available. You can grab a couple of snacks. And while you're there, you're able to pick up some cook's utensils and a tinderbox, courtesy of Chris R.D.
Thank you, Chris.
And so you do now have a fork, knife, and spoon, as well as a tinderbox.
You're not eating my cow.
I can eat whatever I want, but I'll decide not to because I like you.
Right.
I can eat it.
I don't think you have proficiency with those cook's utensils. We will.
I think I have a bomb and it explodes if I wanted to.
There we go. So while you're in the area, you can ask around and see if there's been any news on the streets. You can gather some rumors here. Give me some persuasion rolls.
I've got plenty of that.
Oh.
Charisma.
I only rolled a 6. Are there bonuses for that?
There is. So you rolled a 6. Add your charisma bonus.
My charisma bonus is +2.
Okay. What is your? Do you have proficiency with persuasion?
I do, and I have +4.
Oh, okay. So you have all that. So that's what was that? A 6 + 6 or?
6 + 6.
Yeah. So what did you roll?
I rolled a 6, but then +2 and +4, and I'm proficient.
So that's a 12.
Mm-hmm.
You're not able to get a ton of information with a 12. You can hear some chatter Most of the goblins don't seem to be too keen on talking to a human about goblin on goblin violence. Sort of an outsider's kind of thing. If they sort of handle it between themselves. This isn't really a guild issue so much as it's a goblins gang issue. You are able to overhear though that Krenko's arrest has sort of hurt his reputation a little bit, re-solidifying the fact that there's some squabbling over who would take over if Krenko were to not return. That's really all you can hear with a 12.
Okay.
I rolled really poorly, so it ain't gonna come from me.
Yeah. Even the goblin, sort of distracted by his own lunch, isn't able to much more intel overhearing. If you want to try to get some specific intel, you can try to talk to some of the locals, or we can move on.
If you want to get one of my Nimbus bites, you ain't getting it, cause they delicious. And we're moving on.
Buy your own damn Nimbus bites.
That's right.
So you said that the footsteps weren't really traceable anymore. We couldn't really follow them. So I assume there's no intuitive. So I assume there's no clear path without the footprints. We couldn't just.
There's no clear path to what you're looking for without the footprints.
Okay.
If you had a better description of what you think the building might look like, or what some sort of signposts of I heard that Krenko lives at the corner of 8th and G, right? If you had that kind of information. But the Foundry Street is still a pretty big place, and all of the warehouses are pretty standard box warehouses. If you want to get a closer idea of this, I would ask for what you're looking for, or what kind of skills you're looking to take advantage of.
I think we could get what if we look for some weapons or some armor? I'm getting kind of scared. We're getting closer to Krenko, and if he hits me, I'll die. Alive.
I think you've more than proven yourself in battle, my friend.
Okay, but I'm still scared.
All right, well, we can suit you up there. Where's a place around here that we can get that stuff?
So there's plenty of shops that sell mundane armor and weapons if you're interested. There's also Faelish's place, which you have the option of taking something from there. If you are interested in an item, what are you looking for? Armor, weapons?
Armor. Something to help me hide. Something I can go faster.
Great. You come across a shop called the Bazaar Crovat that specializes in armor of leather and cloth goods, particularly studded leather and traditional leather armor, which you can pick up a set of if you don't have already. So go ahead and mark off. Let's say 20 gold pieces, I think is about right. Let me make sure on that, actually. I was looking in the DMG. What's up?
How much gold do I have?
So you got paid 10 by Nazius. Oh, no, you got paid more.
Mm-hmm.
You got paid 10 each by Nazius, I think. Let's see here. Armor. Oh, you can get leather armor for 10 gold pieces.
Nice.
If you want studded leather, that'll run you 45 gold pieces. As a wizard, however, I don't think you can wear studded leather.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And so that will increase your armor class to 11 plus your dex mod instead of 10 plus your dex mod, making you slightly harder to hit.
Nice.
So while he's shopping, I would probably try to chat up any of the employees and see if they might have heard anything or seen anything, or just generally asking what the business is, what do.
Sure, you're able to find a. Let's say you're able to find one of your countrymen. You're able to find a Rakdos weapons smith who's shirtless in like a black leather strap situation.
Okay.
Got that like Mad Max mask thing going on. Super bald. Looks like comic book Bane. Like 7.5 feet tall.
And he's just shopping?
No, this is a worker.
Okay.
Or it could be a shopper. Either or. What do you think?
No, it's up to you.
Fellow shopper perusing through what's available, looking for new flails and chains and hooks and things. Yeah. So he's sort of looking along the racks and says, "How much?" to the goblin who's running the establishment. And the goblin says, "Hey, those hooks are about 14 apiece, and if you want to get the 9 tails, that'll be about 20. 21, 3 gold per tail." And he says, "I want less money." And the goblin, sort of frightened by this character, says, "Oh, all right. How about 14, 2 per?" "Okay." And he pulls out this leather satchel from his skin-tight pants and starts counting 1, 2, 3 as he sees you out of the corner of his eye. "What?"
I'm just surprised he didn't give you a 5-finger discount.
Five. Good one.
I back away.
5, 6, 7.
It's almost like it costs nothing after a while.
I have to start over. Let me count. 1. So, what did you want to ask this gentleman?
Jane, you're making it worse.
Or better, depending on your perspective.
Right.
I would just be shooting, the breeze with him and be like, "So I thought I was the only one around these parts," or, "What brings you here in a small place like this?"
Well, most weapons are rusty and decrepit. New weapons are better. Better for sticking people with.
It's a real fascinating conversation, Jane.
I actually find the worn ones to be a little bit better. I like a little bit of use to them. I think the new ones are just a lot clumsier. They're just, you got to take the tags off of them, and they're too shiny. They just don't evoke the same ambiance,
That's true. You wear them in a little bit, and they get better.
Exactly. I just
You tie a rubber band around it, and then leave it under the...
Y'all need a room. What is happening here?
They're discussing Rakdos things, Gerb. Chill out.
And I grumble and move right across the room. Clinking and clanking.
Small one's annoying.
Speaking of good times, have you heard anything about some goblins throwing any parties around here?
Goblin parties, always fun.
Yeah.
What kind goblin party?
Oh, nothing major. Maybe like a prison riot, or maybe a jailbreak, or some smuggling, just small scale stuff.
Make a persuasion check. At advantage, because this is your people.
I'm gonna have 3.
So roll it again because you have advantage. 10.
Mm-hmm.
Plus your persuasion, which is plus
4.
2, plus your charisma, which is plus 4. So actually a 16. Nice. So you're able to sort of pierce his leathery hide with your wit and words, and he says,
I don't think that describes a party, but I've heard of goblins fighting, which is a party for me.
Where were they? What were they fighting about?
I'm not completely sure, but it seemed like they were wearing different colors and on maybe different teams. Some of them were coming out of the sewers and heading over that way.
and he points in the direction where the footprints, sort of in the direction where the footprints were heading, but off further.
Okay. Gerb, do you know anything about like goblin turf wars or anything like that?
Oh, I know all about goblin turf wars.
And then I go on like some like 3 minute screed about like goblins and where they came from and how goblins have just been kind of like, they've been like done wrong for so long and who really knew what actually happened to them. And then this is what like my dad thought. He had an
Well,
idea.
if I were to pump the Rakdos friend of mine for like specific colors or descriptors, is that something that I could like feed to Gerb or like Gerb might be able to determine?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what colors or like what were they wearing?
Well, some of them were wearing red and metal, and some of them were wearing red and black and green and metal, which they didn't seem to like each other very much.
Gerb, does this ring any bells?
Mm-hmm. I mean, old in-laws, and, well, there was the estranged sister. Maybe? We don't all know each other, Jane. We've
Make
talked
a
about
history
this.
check, Gerb. And while Gerb is making a history check, Jane, I want you to make a perception check.
Okay. 15.
Do you have any bonuses to add to that?
Which bonuses are that?
Perception, which would be wisdom.
+2.
Okay.
I rolled an 8.
Gerb, no, not your history. You're an Izzet goblin. You grew up in schools, right? There's less, not a street kid so much. You don't know too much about you don't know too much about this side of the tubes, which is fortunate in some ways, but in this particular circumstance, not fortunate.
I'm on the poor side, Jane. I'm on the poor side.
Jane,
Bougie.
while you're chatting up this so attractive and charismatic Rakdos BDSM club employee, you catch out of the corner of your eye that the old goblin that's running the establishment has been surreptitiously eyeing this conversation, and like his pointed ear is twitching every once in a while, and he stepped out for about 10 seconds and is now back behind the counter.
Jane? Pretty suspicious over there.
I might. So let me see here.
So they were headed out over towards an old warehouse over there. One of the ones that the Boros used to run.
I'm gonna try Feast Cant and see if maybe he understands that, so we could be a little bit more discreet.
The shopkeep?
The Rakdos.
Oh, the Rakdos?
Yeah.
Okay. He does not understand these.
Okay.
Not a rogue. Not a rogue, this big, burly, 7.5 foot tall, muscled gentleman.
Okay. So Gerb doesn't know anything about the colors. But I did get a general distraction. I did get a general direction, didn't I?
You did. And as you continue talking, you gather the description of the place is a little bit more specific. You're looking for a warehouse that is a former Boros controlled warehouse, a sort of burned out kind of motif with lots of pockmarks and holes in it. And knowing the general direction, you should be able to more easily find what you're looking for. If you're looking for the warehouse.
I kind of want to just size up the shopkeeper. So is there any way I can like beckon him to me and the Rakdos?
Sure.
Okay, so I'd like to kind of bring him over.
Hey, what's going on? You're looking, do you find anything you like to buy?
Well, there were a couple of things that my friend and I were a little curious about. How about this right here? And here I would get like some nasty, gnarly looking weapon or something and be like, I wonder if you have this in a small?
We could probably arrange that. I'll take a look in the bins in the back. It's a nice weapon you have. I think it's called a kukri. Something.
It looks like it's about your size.
Yeah. We might have a smaller one if you want a smaller one.
Yeah, I mean, it's something your size, yeah.
How about this big old crossbow over here? Ooh.
And I start like playing with the crossbow, and then I drop it.
I mean, a crossbow could be fun, and then I might like kind of aim it at the shopkeeper and just act like I'm kind of looking at him, trying to like intimidate him.
Point that away. What's happening?
I'm just looking at it. I mean,
all right. Well, Crossbows for sale too. Should run you about 10 gold pieces. The
Okay.
kukris are a little bit more of a specialty item. That might be just a little bit more expensive. Maybe let's see here. Maybe about 15 gold pieces for that their weapon.
I was told that crossbow was given to me as a gift.
Right. So I need to decipher this quote because it said, "Can I buy that goblin a heavy crossbow?" Which I think means my NPC. Yeah, that's what the comment says. Right. So if you'll just hand that back, I'll take that from you. Thank you so much, sir.
It's really nice, though. I like it.
It's for sale, as is everything in the shop.
And I pull like my pockets, you know what I mean? Like, very.
Sure.
Yep.
Can I help you with anything?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay.
While she's talking to him, could I sneak outside? If there's somebody, if he tried to meet somebody out there, I would see them out there.
Sure.
I was kind of
Go ahead and walk outside, take a look around, and make me a perception check for me.
Okay. 11 plus, what's the perception thing?
Perception is wisdom.
Wisdom. Yeah, I got nothing on that one.
Okay. With your perception check, you can look around, and because it was quick enough afterwards, you can't. Yes.
Actually, because I have a proficiency in wisdom.
Yes.
It's a 13.
So proficiency in wisdom saving throws, not in wisdom checks.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wisdom saving throws would happen if you are attacked and someone tried to control your mind.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a wisdom saving throw. This is just a check using it as a mundane ability.
Gotcha.
So, but it's a good enough check to be able to look around and see and look past all the merchants. It's pretty wide open. It's not cramped like in Tin Street. It's pretty wide open, spaced out. There's a fruit vendor that has oranges and some vegetables and things like that. And just past the a cabbage cart, you can see a couple of goblins in cloaks sort of having a little a chat, and they sort of look around and one of them walks off while the other one begins walking in the opposite direction past the shop down the street in the other direction. You can tell that these goblins are wearing these sort of wine red cloaks that are the signature of Krenko's gang.
So one you said is walking away, and one is walking essentially toward me. Is that right?
One is walking away, and one is walking sort of perpendicular. He's across the street past the shop that you're currently in.
Gotcha. Okay. It sounds like I need to get Jane's attention and try to follow that other goblin.
Okay. You also do see that there is just around, just so that you're aware, there is an Azorius guard presence in the Foundry Street. They seem to be human mostly, or elven of some kind, walking 2x2s, and yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, Calamity Jane is going to get a tome of some kind.
Ooh.
For some amount of gold. Let's see here.
Neat.
Yeah. Let's see. That's the player's handbook.
Jane's gonna get a big old book. Giant book. Full of words.
Janie's got a book.
Big old book.
A rare tome of some kind.
You can hit people with that book. It's heavy.
Let's see here. What kind of rare tomes are there? Tome. Oh, these are all very rare. So I'll tell you what. I'll give you half of a tome that is in the book, because for 2750 2750 bits, can't get a very rare item. But you can get a rare item.
Okay.
So instead of one of these tomes that are very rare, I'll give you a rare version.
Okay.
Essentially going to cut everything in half. So instead of being a book that you spend 48 hours reading over a period of 6 days or fewer to give your intelligence a permanent +2, or a permanent charisma of +2, these are the Tome of Clear Thought and Tome of Leadership and Influence. Instead, I'll give you one that if you spend 24 hours reading over a period of 3 days, it permanently increases your intelligence or your charisma by 1.
And do I have to do that like right now? Right now?
In order for it to give you the bonus, yes. So it's going to take a few days before you get this permanent bonus because it's a book.
Okay. It's not going to take me out of the action or anything.
No.
Okay.
You can do this
let's do that.
Days have 24 hours.
Okay.
Over the next 72 hours, spend a long time reading.
Okay.
And you'll get a permanent bonus to your mental stat of choosing either intelligence or charisma.
Okay.
And I promise that any and all bugs that come by, I will squish them with that book. I will take them and squish them.
Oh man. And Gerb is gonna get some item. Let's see here. Riding boot.
Oh my goodness.
Get some Gucci riding boots is the name given. Let me see if there's an item called riding boots. I don't think that there's. Let me see some boots here.
There are now.
There are. I think that Gucci is just a descriptor rather than the title of a magic item. So we're going to look up the various boots with the fur that are in the book here.
Gucci Mane. That's right.
Rare. Okay. Here are your options.
Ooh.
You have a couple of options, some of which are uncommon, but you can actually choose some rare boots if you prefer. The rare boots that you can have include the boots of levitation.
Ooh.
While you wear these boots, you can use an action to cast the levitate spell on yourself at will, which is neat. And also boots of speed. While you wear these boots, you can use a bonus action to click your heels together. If you do, the boots double your speed, and any creature that makes an opportunity attack against you has a disadvantage on the attack roll. When you click your heels again, it ends the effect. When the boot's property has been used for a total of 10 minutes, the magic ceases to function until you finish a long rest. So once per day, you can double your speed, and you can be more difficult to hit on opportunity attacks. There's also boots of Elvenkind, boots of striding and springing, and boots of the Winterlands, among others. Those are just the items that are in the Dungeon Master's Guide, so those are the ones that I have available for you in the shop here. Meanwhile, back in the shop, while you're looking up while you're doing some shoe shopping, Jane.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell that the shopkeep is a little bit hinky. He's a little bit, he appears to be just trying to, play it up like, everything's cool, man. What's the problem? You want to buy anything? Like trying to oversell it, essentially.
Right. And me and the Rakdos are trying to make him uncomfortable with like various comments about gear and weapons and just trying to subtly imply that like we could kill him if we wanted to.
I'm trying on boots.
All right, what do you want? What's the deal here? What's the problem? I'm just a simple salesman trying to peddle my wares. Why are you Rakdos always trying to make trouble?
We're not trying to make trouble. We just want to know where you went on your little smoke break.
Yeah. I just went out back to check on my pony.
You've a pony.
Insight check.
10.
Plus?
That's wisdom.
Insight is intelligence, I believe.
I don't have any. I do get +2 for that. I have +2 insight, but no intelligence bonus.
Okay, +2 insight, so it's more than 10. He doesnn't have a pony. He's super lying to you.
Okay.
And I kind of lean over and I go,
I didn't see a pony out there.
It is wisdom, actually. Insight is wisdom.
Then I do get a +2 for that, and then +2, so I get 14.
Right, 14. Yeah, he's super lying to you, just trying to avoid.
You have a pony?
Yep, sure do.
Show us your pony.
Oh, all right. I'll be right back.
I think I'd like to go with you. I'd hate to miss the pony.
No, don't worry about it. I'll meet you outside.
My friend comes too. I think he'd love to ride the pony.
Hey, this is going to be... All right, everybody stay calm. And he will, levy the heavy crossbow at the both of you. All right, nobody make any sudden moves.
So I slowly put the boots of speed on.
Yeah.
Sure. So it's going to be funnier this way, but usually you have to attune to the Boots of Speed, which is a 30-minute process of meditation and becoming one with. However, it's a lot funnier if you just have them. So I'll just say you have them. Because they're Boots of Speed, you can speed attune to them.
Okay.
Okay, you have your boots.
Nice.
So then I run out, like, in speed-wise, like, run outside waiting for him, essentially, at that point.
Okay. All right, nobody move! I'm just gonna back out of here, and y'all aren't gonna see me ever. Just get out of my shop! Just get out of my shop! And he sort of slowly backs through the canvas partition in the tent. It closes. Boy, that was close. And he turns around, and you're right in his face.
And I got a bomb in my hand.
Whoa! Okay, crazy pants. A bomb? What's going?
We need answers. We need all the answers.
What answers you want? What do you want?
Who the hell was you talking to and why?
And you see he's starting to cry a little bit. I'm just talking to Krenko's guys. They were asking. The lady was asking about him, so I'm just trying to stay safe. All right. He pays my protection services for the shop here, and whenever there's trouble, whenever there's outsiders make an issue, I gotta let them know.
And I call Jane over.
Jane, come here. Bring your friend too.
So I would come out at this point and I would say, what do you know about this? He's a goblin too, right? The shopkeeper. Yeah. I would say, what do you know about this goblin gang war that people are talking about?
The big guy behind you says, I already told you all. No. That's not, she's not asking you. She's asking me. Look, it's a complicated situation, all right?
You're goblins. It can't be that complicated.
Okay. That's goblinist.
My hand's getting tired. My hand's getting weird. I could drop this at any moment.
All right. Look. Krenko and the Shatter Gang bros have been at each other's throats for years, okay? When Krenko got arrested this most recent time, the Shatter Gang brothers saw an opportunity, and they've been making moves, okay? And the thing is that, with the squabbling that's been taking place between Krenko's guys, the Shatter Gang brothers thought that they had some time to be able to make some moves. But Krenko's guys know that Krenko got out now, and so do the Shatter Gang brothers. So, the bros are going to be making a move on the warehouse sometime tonight, would be my guess. It's going to be, it's not a good situation. You don't want to get involved, ma'am.
So if our mission is to find Krenko and the Shatter Gang brothers want to find him too, I don't suppose we can use the Shatter Gang brothers to lead us to him.
I mean, if they're going to the warehouse, is this the same one your buddy was talking about?
I don't follow the plan.
I follow the plan.
I don't follow the plan.
I'm not asking you, Burley.
My name's Greg.
You don't have to follow the plan, Greg. Thank you. So if the warehouse is where we need to be, I think that's what time is this raid supposed to start, the warehouse?
I don't know specific details. All I know is that the Shatter Gang brothers are going to make their move tonight, because Krenko's probably holed up in the warehouse. They gotta find out which warehouse he's in. That's all I know.
Are you sure I can fit this bomb all the way up your butt? All the way!
Anything else I don't know.
Fine, I was really looking forward to that.
Me too. Yeah. All right.
So now we gotta regroup for the night. We're gonna get a nice place to watch the warehouse and see what goes down.
Yeah, we need a place that we can do surveillance on.
Yeah, I don't get in the middle of all that. They'll kill me. I'll die.
Okay. So shall we end this scene?
Sounds like.
Yeah.
All right. You're going to step away from the bizarre Krovod. The elderly goblin must be at least 40. Boy, just an old goblin.
Wow.
I know, right? Just like looks like folded sheets. Just the oldest. looks like a Miyazaki painting. So you're able to find a coffee shop. We'll say it's one of the branches of the Mind Grind, the 10th district's most popular coffee shop. Real mind-numbing coffee.
Ooh.
And you step inside to be able to regroup. So the information that you now have is that there is a weapons drop, that Krenko's guys are picking up weapons at like sunset. Sometime after sundown, the Shatter Gang folks you don't know if they know where Krenko is right now, but they're trying to find out, and they're hoping to take him down tonight. You know there is a warehouse that Krenko is in, and you have a vague description of that warehouse.
Okay, so I'm thinking we need to find the warehouse and like at least case the joint, or get some sort of surveillance going, so that I'm thinking we just kind of follow the Shatter Gang and then get Krenko out before it gets too bad.
I don't know how we're gonna get him out, but maybe we'll find him.
I'm pretty sure you and your fireballs will think of something.
I could have put it all the way up his butt. You understand what I'm saying?
Make another perception check.
Okay.
Ooh.
7.
Ooh, I nat 20'd on that one.
Okay.
So 7 plus, so you said it was wisdom?
Perception is wisdom, yeah.
7 plus 2, and then I have, yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. So if I have perception plus 2 and then wisdom plus 2, is that plus 4?
Yes. So if your wisdom score says plus 2, and then you have a dot filled in, that means that you add your proficiency. Otherwise, okay, so it's just plus 2 total.
Okay, so 7 plus 2 is 9.
Right. Okay. We'll say that you're facing in the wrong direction in the coffee shop. You're enjoying your latte, and you don't catch this. Gerb, with your nat 20, you catch that you are being eavesdropped upon. Around the corner, around one of the stoves, you see someone in a small being of some kind in a hood, sipping on some tea. And as you're finishing up your conversation, they sort of leave their tip and begin heading out the door.
So then I casually walk over and put my hand on their little shoulder.
They're moving the same speed as you and are 20 feet in front of you.
So I can't run essentially to catch up with
Don't
them?
you got them fast boots?
You can run. If you run, though, they might catch that you're running after them.
But because I have the fast boots, does that make a difference in how fast
So
I go?
if you've used your fast boots today already, you can't use them again.
Oh, okay. Well, I kind of
So
used
what
them
you
earlier,
can do is you can run and try to be sneaky about it. I'll have you make a stealth check.
Okay, stealth check it
This
is.
is stealth dexterity.
Okay, that's an 8. Dexterity bonus is 4, so that's 12.
Let's see. 18 on the dice. This being hears you. You bump into a chair as you look down and see. He turns around and sees you, and you make eye contact. This is another goblin of some kind, and he begins to make a break for it out the door.
I give chase. At this point, does Jane see what I'm doing?
Jane, you see Gerb is starting to chase someone.
Jane, come on, let's go. I need your help.
And then I just run out the door.
She would probably just be like, oh, hell.
Slowly
So
stand
are
up.
you running? You're just running after him?
I'm running after, but I'm not trying to keep up with him, where it's you're running to put on all right, I guess we're going, but you're still
Okay.
just kind of I don't know where we're running to, almost defensively, just okay, and then if he steps in it, and I just laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this being is able to go the same speed as you all. in fact, is faster than you, Gerb, because they appear to be a rogue themselves, which means that Jane is able to keep pace and eventually runs past you, Gerb. And you're able to keep pace with this guy and is sort of bobbing and weaving in the busy market. And we now have a chase scene. So let me cut to the chase rules.
I would love to know that because I feel like, I don't know if I can do this, but I'll just, like, could I mage hand to, like, trip him?
Absolutely, you can give it a shot. So you cast Mage Hand.
That's my cantrip.
That's your cantrip, and you're trying to grab his ankle.
Right.
All right, give me just a second. Let me get to... There's my chase rules. Let me see what Mage Hand can do. That's going to be in the player's handbook.
Yeah, it is. Right.
Mage Hand.
Mage Hand is great.
It does have its limits, though.
It's true.
You can use it. You can try to manipulate an object, open an unlocked door or container. Can't carry more than 10 pounds. I'll say that you can attempt to try to trip him with your Mage Hand. I will make a dexterity saving throw. And that's a natural 1. It's for my dex save, so we might not need these chase scene rules anymore. You are able to grab his ankle with your spectral hand, and he takes a tumble.
Jane's gonna get there first.
Jane, I'm gonna give you. So you're gonna be able to get up to him, but not make any actions. If you dash up to this guy, so you're standing over this guy as he gets to his feet, and this goblin now you see is a goblin. Wearing the blacks, greens, and reds that are endemic of the Shatter Gang. And
Does she know that they're Shatter Gang colors?
I believe that it was described to you by your friend Greg.
Well, I know that we were given the colors, but I wasn't sure. I didn't remember if we were given the assignment of like what those colors mean. I knew that there was a red side and then a Jun side. But...
Right.
I should know that difference and be able to explain it to her.
I think that you explained it. You explained all the goblin stuff. So we'll say that you do. We'll say you do. And so, yeah, you have this panting, quiet goblin up against the wall in an alley. And Gerb, you're up to it behind her at this point. You're able to catch up. This guy's got beady little eyes, and he's got a real look on his face, like I've got caught in the cookie jar.
And I'm out of breath.
He was in the coffee house, right?
He was.
Okay, so would Jane have to squat to talk to him?
Yeah, you'd lean over.
So Jane would probably squat and say something like, I hope you weren't thinking of leaving without paying your tab.
I'd have to tip on the table.
And I'm just back there going like, I got a bomb.
I got a bomb put in your butt. Put the bomb in your butt. Put the bomb in your butt.
What is he? What? You have a bomb in your butt?
He has a bomb. He's very proud of this fact.
Why do you have a bomb in your butt?
Give me a second.
He's gonna put the bomb in your butt unless you cooperate with us.
Wow, she said.
Make an intimidation check with advantage because Gerb has a bomb in his butt.
I rolled a 6.
So roll again because you have advantage.
Okay. A 4.
Okay, so 6 plus your intimidation bonuses. Do you have proficiency in intimidation?
I do not.
Okay. In that case, your intimidation is either your charisma or your strength.
So I have more charisma.
Okay, so add your charisma.
6 plus 2 is 8.
Okay. That's not going to do it. He's sort of, I don't believe that you have a bomb in your butt. So you can kiss my butt.
You really want to do this right now? You want to make this happen?
And his like sharp, jagged teeth are like,
I ain't messing with you, boy. I can hurt you.
I have an ability. I'm just trying to see if it might be a little bit too aggressive.
What's the ability?
Okay, I have cause fear.
Okay.
Can I use that to like, if he's not going to take me seriously, can I? It doesn't seem like he's going to run from it. It just seems like he's just going to be frightened.
Okay. What does cause? Can you read cause fear to me?
Yeah. So cause fear, according to the site that I'm using, it says you awaken the sense of mortality in one creature you can see within range. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become frightened of you until the spell ends. The frightened target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on success.
Okay. So usually you're right. Frightened does cause the being to run from you. However, in the current situation, I would let you redo the intimidation check, this time with proficiency. Okay. It cause fear is a spell or a class ability? It's a spell. All right, I'll let you cast the spell.
Okay. I rolled a 12.
Okay. And that's going to add your charisma. And now, because you caused fear, I'll let you add the proficiency. This is now more than enough. Mm-hmm. So your being sort of darkens a little bit. Mm-hmm. The shadow around you sort of coalesces into a wavering cloak. And you see this goblin's pupils go wide. And he is suddenly much more amicable to whatever you're asking.
And I'm just like, bombs in your butt. Bombs in your butt.
All right. I was just hearing what you all were talking about.
Why would you care what we were talking about?
Well, I saw you all talking to the goblin in the other district in the Foundry Street at the Bazaar Krovad, and the other guy seemed like he was pointing over in the direction of one of the warehouses, and I was just hoping that I could get that information back to my guys.
I'll pull my dagger out and I'll put it to his throat.
What are you saying to me? What? Who sent you? Who sent you?
I work for the Shadow Gang Bros. We're looking for Krenko, and you all seemed like you had more leads than we did at the time.
Gerb.
Can I put the bomb in his butt?
Later.
Fine.
Later.
Kick the dirt, walk away.
So you're all looking for Krenko, huh?
I mean, maybe they already know where he is, but if I was going to get to it first, I'd probably get a raise.
Maybe they just find pieces of you. And I'm bringing back with the
okay, all right.
Just night.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
What do you know about the warehouse?
When you say you're looking, you make it sound like you don't know where he already is.
We don't know for sure where Krenko is. We have some leads, but it seemed like your lead was pretty solid, and so I was just trying to see if you knew more than we did.
Why don't you tell us what you know, and then we'll tell you if you're getting warmer.
I know that Krenko was arrested and got broken out of prison. And while he was in prison, there was some consternation amongst the leadership of his gang about who would take over if he didn't get out. The Shadow Gang Bros, our gang of brothers, we saw an opportunity, and we sort of jumped at it, and we thought that this was a good chance to just take out Krenko's gang once and for all, and just end the Goblin Gang War. But it's not that easy. Now he's out, and we just want to find out where he is. We know that there was some goblins were spotted coming out of a sewer grate over in the west end of the plaza, and headed off in that direction where your friend was pointing, and that's about it. We don't know much else.
So if your goal is to become the better gang, if we help you find Krenko, we want dibs on Krenko. So if we give you his gang, can we have Krenko?
Make a persuasion check.
14.
On the dice?
Yeah, 14 on the dice.
Okay. Which I think you have bonuses for that also. Yeah. If Krenko's out of the picture, that's all good with us.
Jane, he knows something else. Let me at him. I'm not gonna
No,
dagger.
no.
I'm gonna take a finger, boy. You better tell me what you know.
Please don't kill me.
You can have Krenko's gang. You can eliminate Krenko's gang. You guys will be the last goblin standing. We'll take Krenko, and everybody wins.
Krenko won't go down without a fight.
Oh, I know that. This sounds like it might be the lesser of two evils.
You said that you guys want to be the goblin gang to beat. So you can beat the gang. Let us have Krenko.
And you see he's thinking it over on his face, sort of like weighing his situation here, weighing his situation within the gang itself.
I pull Jane over for a quick aside.
Jane, here's an idea, okay? We tie him up, and we wait for the warehouse thing to happen. And then, wait for it, I put the bomb in his butt,
Okay,
and we send him in. We send him in, and then he goes boom, and it's amazing. Okay, I'm sorry.
I back away.
So what do you say? You all get to be the main goblin gang. We get Krenko. You don't get a bomb in your butt, and everybody wins.
I know where you sleep. I don't know where you sleep, but I will.
And he will accept that deal. So can I go?
You can go. Just tell us where we need to be later.
Oh, okay. I guess we should just try to find you then. Where will you be?
I thought you knew where this was going down.
To tell you later.
We'll be your nightmares, boy.
I'm trying to jump on and get the.
Okay, all right. Hey. We're allies now, you crazy. What are you doing?
I see you.
I thought wizards were supposed to be intelligent.
Oh, now? Is that what we want to do? Is that how we want to roll this?
Yeah, that's right. Take 1d4 sick burn damage. Goblin boy.
I will put you to sleep, put it in there, and detonate. Understand? Detonate.
I'm 4'1". I got Fury of the Tall on you, boy.
I ain't detonate. I'm detonate. You know what I'm saying?
All right, you can find us at where's a good place to meet.
I'll say that you decide on a place to meet, and then you can proceed.
Okay.
All right, you've planted this seed that you can follow the Shatter Gangs to the warehouse, and sort of have this uneasy alliance.
When as he's walking away, I give him one of these.
We'll help him deal with Krenko's gang if he just lets us have Krenko.
That's right.
Okay.
Cool. So we're going to cut to later in the evening. You now have... are you all watching the weapons drop?
Mm-hmm.
That was what was next?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so you meet this goblin who you hear is named Urko. Urko the goblin is a rogue. And meets you at this sort of rooftop location overlooking this meat location where this weapons handoff is apparently supposed to be. Urko tells you that the Shatter Gang is planning on sending a cadre of 10 goblins, ish, maybe a dozen goblins, to the warehouse. Once they know where they need to go. And you tell Urko that they can follow the Krenko's gang back to the warehouse from this weapons drop.
Mm-hmm.
This weapons drop is happening at a wharf. There's sort of an extended pier into one of the canals. There's a large shipping junk kind of boat. A junk style boat, not a black, green, and white style boat, but like a Chinese junk.
Mm-hmm.
It would be an Abzan boat now. But you watch that is sort of slowly bobbing in the water off to the side. There's a lot of shipping containers piled high in this area, and there's a small, maybe 20 by 20, 30 by 30 opening in the pier where, after a little while, near twilight hour, you see about a half dozen goblins walk into the area, sort of making a round and looking around for if any forces are nearby. I'm now going to roll at advantage their perception to see if they spot anyone spying on them. It's a 12 and a 19. So they look around, and you see that they some of the scouts are looking around while the majority of the crew is opening one of the crates.
These are Krenko's guys, right?
These are Krenko's guys. They are wearing the telltale symbols of Krenko. I see it, Evan. Of Krenko's guys, and they begin unloading boxes onto a cart that is itself being pulled by some sort of mechanical rig apparatus that is going to help carry heavy objects. The scouts look around. One of the scouts is sort of checking out the boat, looking down at the water line. The other scout apparently has some sort of spyglass looking around the roofs of the various rooftops and is looking right in your all's direction. So what I'm going to have y'all do is roll stealth at advantage because you're on a roof and you're trying to remain hidden.
I also have it the dot.
So you have the dot, which means you add 2 for your proficiency. Then you're going to add your dexterity. So remember to roll the d20 twice and take the highest number. Urko is also going to roll this.
My highest is 12.
On the roof with you all.
So
the highest
plus.
With bonuses, I got 4. I got 17.
Okay.
So mine's 12 plus what?
Plus the proficiency, which is 2, plus your dexterity.
So 14 plus 3 is 17.
Right. And Urko also rolls above a 15. Mm-hmm. So you all make the perception check. So you're able to duck just in time for him not to spot you on the roof. They're unloading all the stuff into a cart for about 10, 15 minutes before you hear, as you're staying low, trying not to get spotted, you hear, and the mechanical tank kind of apparatus begins pulling the goods away.
This is the rig, right?
This is a rig. Yeah, this is a just a mechanical rig kind
Somebody in it?
You can't tell from this distance. And eventually the humming and buzzing and engine of the rig fades, and you are able to spot where the tracks are leading, and you're able to track where they head. As you come down from the warehouse, thanks to Queen Marchesa, you get a sassy Is It scooter.
Yeah! Woo!
I don't know what that is, but
I think
awesome. I think it's just something that Queen Marchesa made up. So let's see if there's something in here that is like a Is It scooter kind of situation.
Scooter tooter, that's right.
A scooter.
And it's got +1 sassy.
Right, exactly. I don't know if there's an Is It scooter.
There is now.
All right, well, we'll say that you have an Is It scooter, and we'll decide what it does. It'll probably give you some advantage on speed and stealth. So so whenever you do something having to do with speed or stealth, remind me that you have the scooter.
I got a
And
scooter.
we'll just play it by ear. So with that, Urko is able to follow with you all over to the warehouse, which is Krenko's hideout.
Okay.
You are able to spot that the goblins head back following the weapons drop in the vicinity of where the sewers were, but again, all of these buildings look exactly the same. This one is more inland, not next to any of the docks. You see a large soot-stained wooden building with a faded symbol of the Boros Legion on the edge of it. Its timbers are cracked and singed. There's a closed bay door that faces north towards the water, towards the canal, and a wooden track that runs from the building all the way to the edge of a pier further on.
Okay.
A similar bay door faces south towards the main street. On the alley sides of the building are two doors, a double door on the west side and a single door on the east side. Evan, if you want to pull up the map, I can show you exactly what that looks like.
There's the map.
Great. So there to the north is the edge of the water. You all are further to the south. So you're down by where the words like Heart of Svothgos are underneath the stream here.
Okay.
You don't see what the inside of the building looks like at this moment, but you do see alleys to either side of the building, and you see the canal behind the building as well. And then, of course, there's the front door. So you all can scout from here. Urko is going to head back to the Shattergang brothers and get his affairs in order. Yeah.
So at this point, what we have saw is Krenko's men, or Krenko's people, as best as we can identify them. Showed up, gotten some amount of stuff, weapons, whatever. Load onto a cart with the rig, and the rig has gone off to wherever. And now those guys went back into the warehouse?
So some of the guys go into... Yes, the guys that came with the weapons, the bay doors open, and you can see a little bit inside the warehouse. I would say make a perception check to see how well you can see in the warehouse.
Both of us?
Sure.
Okay.
And
Team.
Perception is wisdom, 17.
Okay.
15 plus my bonus?
Plus some bonuses. You see pretty good in there.
Okay.
Lots of dark vision.
Right, exactly, which will help. Calamity, you do not have dark vision, correct?
No, but I have 15 plus 2.
Okay. At this moment, it is still twilight hour, so you're able to see in. As the night goes further, it does not appear as if the goblins inside are going to be turning on any lights, for they are all goblins and can depend on their own dark vision.
Right.
You do see that the track that starts on the outside when the doors are opened continues into the warehouse. The rig pulls all of the crates and boxes that were gathered at the wharf into the warehouse, and inside you see many, many, many other stacked boxes, crates, various sundry items. And so too does the rig go inside. I'll say with your good perception check, you do see that another goblin does in fact exit the rig once it is inside. It appears to have been a vehicle being driven. And so that's what you see. You also see that there is a catwalk that appears to skirt the edges of the warehouse that you can see, presumably going all the way around. And with your perception, that's what you see, I'm going to say.
Can we sneak in? Here's a question. If Krenko was there, would we recognize him?
Yes. Krenko has a very distinct look about him. He's big. He's bulbous. He also typically wears an iron crown, and you did not see that at the pier. He also probably just wouldn't have gone to the weapons drop. Not see him in the warehouse at this moment.
Okay.
So you can tell, thanks to your knowledge of buildings, Gerb, you can tell that this is an old weapons depot of the Boros that is in disuse at this point, probably because it was abandoned once it got taken over by goblins in Goblin Gang territory. It's 120 feet long, it's 60 feet wide, and it's 40 feet tall in that shape of a box. There are no windows. There are a number of small holes in the wooden structure, presumably caused by fired projectiles of one kind or another. Some of the holes are probably big enough for you or Jane to jump through, although they're at various heights in the wall. Some of them are on ground level, but some of them are 10, 15 feet up, 25 feet up, like that.
So how much of this do we need to, like, what's our plan? Are we casing this and then reporting it back to the Shatter Brothers? Or
No, so Urko is already going back to the Shatter
okay.
Gang.
So are we...
Now it's your turn to make plans, but I will tell you that in addition to looking at the building, there is guard posted.
That's fine. Are we expecting Krenko to be here at some point?
That is the implication, yes.
Okay. So I think we need to really case this place so that we kind of have an idea of where he could possibly be or what we might anticipate. And so, I mean, how much of this do we know? Like,
I think we should sneak in and be real quiet. Maybe they'll say something.
Are you asking me how much you know, or are you talking to
yeah,
Will?
I'm just trying to figure out like how much casing we have to do. Like, do we
Right.
know enough where we can confidently like make a plan, or do we know very little?
You don't really know specifics of what the inside of the building looks like.
Okay.
No, thanks to Gerb's history with infrastructure. That
Hey, what are the Gerb? What do you say? How you know how goblins work? Like, what do they? How do they tell you all apart? Quite frankly.
Wow! Is that where we're going with this?
What I'm saying is that if I just put a costume on you, do you think you could get in there?
I mean, hashtag not all goblins or whatever, but okay.
I mean, do you know if they use any sort of lingo or any sort of code words, or do you think you'd be expected to know anything? Or
These guys have hip to their jive. I don't know what's going on over there. I ain't got the magical keywords, so find me out in 3 seconds.
That's what I'm saying, though. So, are you saying that like you would need they would know just from looking at you, or like, would you be expected to know a password or have a badge, or?
So what if we were to put the bomb on the sassy scooter, and the scooter goes in and explodes? Havoc, chaos. Sounds amazing.
It does sound amazing, but I just don't think it's going to be. We don't want to disturb the drop, because the drop is what's going to bring Krenko here. So we want this building to be in one piece so that he has a building to come to.
So the weapons have already been dropped, and they were
Okay.
brought back here.
Okay.
Oh, so the weapons weren't being taken from here. They were being put here.
Yes.
They still don't think.
Baelish already put the weapons in the crate for them to pick up.
Jane, they armed them.
So what I'm saying is, I guess I'm confused. So does Krenko have a reason to come to this place? Is what I'm saying.
I would say make a general intelligence check.
Okay.
So roll die and add your intelligence. 20. You can pretty confidently surmise that this is Krenko's hideout.
Okay.
He is presently in the building.
I don't think just.
If this is where his gangs hold up.
Ooh. How many goblins are here?
So you saw 6 go in. You also saw at least 2 more open the doors and 2 more on guard. So you saw at least 10.
We want to do this without the Shatter Gang, though?
No. We need to find Krenko. Once we find Krenko, we wait for the Shatter Gang.
What I'm thinking is we wait for the Shatter Gang to get here. We use your bomb to put into the rig, send it in there, flush them out. The Shatter Gang deals with all the minions. We wait for Krenko, and we take Krenko during the chaos.
Okay. I put the bomb in the rig, you said?
You can put the bomb in. The ring goes right through. It's that straight track, right?
Yeah, the rig is already in the building.
Okay, so we don't have.
You have the scooter, but you don't have the rig.
So if we.
You also have 2 ponies.
Don't forget my pony. It's Lucky. It's my favorite pony. It's my friend.
I mean, is there a way to like sneak you in there long enough to where you can get a bomb in the rig and then get out of there and then flush them out. The gang picks off the other gang members. We wait for Krenko and we get Krenko out of there.
Krenko could get killed in the crossfire. And then we're screwed.
While you're on the roof across the street, Jane, you accidentally tap something with your foot, and you do find yourself in possession of a potion of fire breathing, which is great. Fun little item for you to have. Potion of fire breath.
We can just set this whole building on fire.
I like my plan a little better.
I like blowing stuff up. It's just a bigger stuff blowing up.
I know you do.
Boom.
Cool. So the potion of fire breath, after you drink it, you can use a bonus action to exhale fire to a target within 30 feet of you. That target has to make a DC 13 save, dex save, taking 4d6 fire damage on a fail or half as much on a success. That effect lasts for an hour, and you can use this 3 times.
Ooh.
So you have that now at your disposal.
That's pretty awesome.
I still think our best.
I'm assuming that you left the cow back at the millstone.
Yes.
Okay.
The Minotaur has the cow along with your heart, I know.
Yeah. I still like my plan better of if you can sneak in there long enough to plant the bomb, we can cause a distraction. I think it's worth a shot.
I mean, it's probably better than burning the whole thing down. Yeah.
So you know that the Shattergang Brothers gang is presumably on their way.
Mm-hmm.
Are you waiting for them to do whatever it is they're going to do, or are you doing something before they get here?
I would like to have them be in on it just to sort of keep up the illusion that like we're with them, and because we're going to need them to be on guard for when the madness happens to like pick off the gang members and then.
Okay. So you're going to wait for the Shattergang Brothers to show up.
Yeah.
You know, if we hurt some of the Shattergang Brothers, they're going to be really mad at us too, right?
Well, we're going to try not to do that, but hopefully they'll kill each other. But
It is a bomb, but okay.
So you'll wait a little while. At one point, the guard does change. New goblins come out front. And during the guard change, you hear a little bit of a rabble rouse come from down the street as a gang of small beings of some kind turn a corner and emerge from the outside. Now, it's dark now. There are no lights on. The goblins themselves don't need a light to see, because they rely on their dark vision, as does Gerb.
That's right.
Calamity, your vision is severely hampered at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really make out exactly what's going on, but you can hear when the gang approaches at speed. You hear a familiar voice say, "Put bombs up their butts!" And the group of 10 to 15 Shattergang gang members launch bombs at the building, at the front door of the building.
I'm experiencing pride right now. A lot of bombs and a lot of butts.
They begin launching those bombs, and the doors stay closed. And let's see how this goes.
Really?
Okay. 2 of the goblins fail saves and are immediately blown up by bombs.
That's not the butt. That's what I'm talking
The other
about.
guard stay up, and one of the goblins reaches for a small metal object on their that they wear on a necklace, blows into it, and you can hear a high-pitched whistle that triggers some noise from inside the warehouse. The other bombs hit at various points on the door and create enough holes that you can get in through the front entrance without opening the door, it seems. And also that front door is presently catching fire.
Nice.
And other goblins are emerging from the door, and there appears to be a goblin gang war presently occurring about let's say 30 feet below you and across the street.
Okay. So change of plans. So I would be like, all right, let's try to find Krenko. And so I would assume that they're going to engage each other, the two sides.
Well, I
Okay,
can
so
also tell you, as Gerb.
There's a back door. We can get in through there.
Okay, so we're going to try to like weave through the conflict and like try to find Krenko.
Okay. So put the map back up on the screen.
Okay.
So you are sort of catty corner with this bottom left corner. You have decided to go towards the front, towards the side, or towards the back?
The back, because Gerb said there's a back door.
Yes. Okay. So you can sneak down and try to cross the street. It is dark and there are explosions happening. So you quickly can make it across the street without being noticed too much. You also see that reinforcements for the Shatter Gang are coming from up the street to the left there.
Okay.
And so there appears to be a fracas occurring.
Ooh, fracas.
A fracas. Fracas is occurring. As you pass down the alley, you do see this set of double doors that leads into the building. Those appear to still be closed. And you can hear the noise and the craziness going on inside. Make a quick perception check.
All right. They went flying. Shit.
This would be way better if it was a dexterity check.
Dice down.
All right. 14. And perception.
Yeah. Wisdom and perception.
Okay, so it would just be 14 for me.
So for me, it's 6 plus
6, right?
2 is 8.
No.
Okay. You do hear the loud whir of the rig begin to power back up from inside. That is what you hear.
Got a bad feeling about this, Calamity.
So you get to the back door. You do not see any other goblins back there, and you are able to attempt to open these bay doors. Now, these are heavy bay doors. But you can probably find a hole big enough to wriggle through.
What are the doors made out of? Metal?
They're wood.
Wood.
Yeah, this whole place is big.
So
big wood.
I don't suppose I can like blow some fire on them.
Sure, you sure can.
I might like take a swig and then just be like,
Okay, great. So you now have fire breath. And you can huff and puff and blow the door down.
And just
Yep, and you have successfully made a hole in the door that you all can go through, a fiery hole, as it were. Across the way, about 100 feet away, you do see a crazy scene. Dozens of goblins fighting each other. The whole front of the warehouse appears to be on fire at this point. And they don't particularly notice you, except for that there are two up on the catwalk on either side of what appears to be a smaller walled building inside of the warehouse. Put the map back up on the screen, if you would, please.
Okay.
There is a office that is a 20-foot square that is inside of the warehouse there on the left side. You cannot see inside of that. The door is currently closed. There are two guards, goblins with light crossbows standing in front of the entrance to that door.
Even as all this is going on, they're still just standing guard?
Correct. And there is another one up on the catwalk standing guard, staying in position.
We have two on the floor by the door and one up here.
Correct. So the door of the office and one is up on the catwalk. And the two that are standing by the door are sending crossbow bolts at the front door. Meanwhile, the one that's on the catwalk is keeping an eye on the back door and does spot you. At this point, I will have you and that one goblin roll for initiative.
Funny.
Whoa.
Wow.
With my modifier, it is 9.
Okay. With your modifier, it's 9.
Yep.
All right, Aaron, you are going to get to go first. There is a goblin that is 45 feet away and 20 feet up.
How far can the fire breathing go?
30 feet.
Can I blow that at him?
Jane, you make a break for it, and then
Not from where you are, but you could probably get close enough to do it. Do you want to move up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Is he going to shoot me before I get there?
No, you roll the higher initiative.
Okay.
So
yeah.
you're
So
going
at that
first.
point, I'd like to just try to get up and blow him a kiss.
Okay. And you're going to use that ability?
Yeah.
Cool. Go ahead and roll your damage. 4d6s.
All right. So
14. So he does make his save.
I'm rolling a 6-sided die 4 times.
Correct. And then he's going to take half.
5, 1, 1, 3.
So that's 10 total. So he'll take 5 of that. He is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Very badly burned, but he is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Herb, it is your turn.
Ooh, I have initiative over him. That's nice.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You have a 9 total?
Right. 9 total.
Right. Okay. I have a higher initiative. My apologies.
Gotcha. All right.
This goblin is going to point the short bow down at you, Calamity Jane, for 20 to hit. And that is going to deal you 3 damage.
Okay.
Piercing damage as a bolt lodges into your shoulder.
Okay.
And that goblin is going to move to the opposite corner. So it's going to move to the upper left corner of the warehouse catwalk, which is, you've seen on the map, is the upper left corner. Still in your range, but in that corner now.
Mm-hmm.
Gerb, it is now your turn.
All right. I would like to look at how the range of a chaos bolt is.
Oh, you have 120 feet, I think, on a chaos bolt. I think it's 1 billion.
Yes. 120 feet.
Massive, yeah.
An undulating,
you can-
warbling mass of chaotic energy.
Yep, you can hit this whole warehouse if you want to. Almost. If you're in one corner, you probably can't hit the other corner, but it's close.
Jeez. So I can hit like a whole bunch of people, is what you're saying?
No, you can hit one target,
Oh.
but you have an insane range.
Oh, yes. Yeah, okay. Make a ranged spell attack. On a hit, the target takes 2d8 plus 1d6.
So roll a d20 and add your spell attack bonus.
Right. My spell attack bonus is plus 5.
Yep.
So roll a d20. 5. Plus 5 is 10. That seems bad.
You have a 10. Yep, that's not going to do it. The goblin is able to duck out of the way. Aaron, it's Jane's turn again. At this point, however, you have attracted the attention of the goblins that are in the lower third of the warehouse here, so they are aware of your existence. It seems as if the action has died down just a little bit, and the loading rig has begun to sort of turn towards you, and a couple of the other goblins are looking in that direction.
And where is the rig and everything on the map?
The rig is presently where it's illustrated on the map. So it's right there, about 20 feet from the office, about 30 feet, 40 feet from the front door.
I see. Oh boy.
We're in it now, kids.
Jane set him on fire.
So is the one goblin that I've burned, is the burn affecting him at all?
So it's magical fire. The fire has not kept up.
Okay. So
Kill him.
You've got one more use of that fire breath. Use one on the door and one on the first attack.
So I'm just trying to set the scene. So I'm up here. The two are down here. He stumbled back a little bit, and the two on the bottom have now noticed me.
So you're on the ground level.
Right.
I'm on the ground.
We're on the floor, yeah.
Yes. And he is up on the catwalk.
Okay.
He shakes his tush on it. We talked about this.
If you also look at the map, you can go to the map again. On the right side of the map, there is a staircase up to the catwalk. Should you be so inclined as to go up to the catwalk, but no one's over there right now. There is actually a goblin up there, but he is sort of lodging bolts down at the fray instead.
Burn him
I
up,
think it might be
Jane.
easier for Gerb to sneak up there. Like, Gerb finish him off.
Well, yeah, but I don't have initiative, and I can't breathe fire.
Oh, okay.
All right. Do you have a ranged weapon?
I think so. I have a couple of ranged spells as well.
Okay.
Um.
This guy's looking real rough. You think that on a scale of
Oh,
0
I got it. Since he's looking real rough, how about I cast Toll the Dead?
Great. This is a wisdom save?
You point at one creature you can see within range, and the sound of a bell fills the air around them. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 1d8 necrotic damage.
What is your spell save DC?
Where's it? On my sheet?
Your spell save difficulty check will be on your spell page.
Okay.
Top of the spell page.
10.
10.
It also says if the target's missing any hit points, it instead takes 1d12 necrotic damage.
So I rolled a 10,
Mm-hmm.
-1 for wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
So it will suffer the 1d10, or what was it?
1d12, yeah.
1d12. So go ahead and roll your d12.
Okay.
What does your Toll the Dead sound like?
Big old honking cathedral bells. Just
Nice.
Yeah. That's a 4.
Okay. And the ringing in the ears of the goblin shatters their brain, and they are no longer with us.
Okay.
And that's great. But now we got a bunch of other goblins aware that we exist.
Right.
Just the two on the floor.
So you do have your movement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say you are 30 feet from the door, where there are two goblins presently. You can also sneak around the outside of the office, because those goblins haven't spotted you. The goblins from the main fray have spotted you.
Okay, so you're saying the two guards outside of the office don't know we're here?
It seems like they have a very specific purpose, and they are not particularly interested in doing anything except for holding this door.
Okay.
The other goblins are sort of free agents and are able to have their wits about them and look around. They might have spotted you. It isn't clear if they care yet, but the two that are in front of the door don't particularly care just
But the two in front of the door have crossbows as well?
Yes, they have crossbows.
Hide, Jane, hide.
Yeah, I feel like hiding is the best bet.
Great. So you can sneak behind some of these boxes to the left of the door on the top of the office here.
Yeah.
Roll a stealth check to see if you can hide.
Okay. That's a 4.
Plus,
4 plus, and which is that? Dexterity?
that would be dexterity and
4
stealth.
plus 3 is 7.
And then
And I
stealth.
haven't been proficient in stealth.
So 9.
So 7 plus 5.
7 plus 5.
Yeah.
So 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so good to know. I will keep that in mind when it's these goblins' turns. It is these goblins' turns. One of the goblins, neither of these goblins show any notice that you have been spotted. They continue to fire bolts in the exact opposite direction of you. The goblin that is up on the staircase, however, did spot you and did spot Gerb, and is going to take a shot over at Gerb with his light crossbow, because you are hidden behind some boxes now. That's going to be 20 to hit. And you're going to take 4 piercing damage as a crossbow bolt lodges into your shoulder.
Ow!
Gerb, it is... Oh, you also have full cover, Aaron, as you are now ducked behind some barrels and boxes.
Okay.
Evan, it's your turn.
Oh boy.
And also, by the way, that rig is going to scoot 25 feet up in your direction. It is now parallel with the door and the bottom of the staircase.
Oh boy. And are there a lot of goblins around the rig?
I'm sorry?
A lot of goblins, are they around the rig itself, or is it just like the one rig?
Nope,
The guy.
it's just the rig.
It's the guy itself in it.
Just the guy itself in it.
My thinking is that if I put him to sleep, maybe I can just walk over there and stab him and then get in the rig myself.
Sure.
Because that's a pretty awesome vehicle to wield around.
Right.
I mean,
You want to do that?
yeah, that sounds
Cool.
great. All right, let's do it. Let's sleep him.
All right. Cast sleep.
All right, roll. Oh wait, the sleep involves a couple of.
It's 5d8, I believe, is sleep.
Okay, 5d8, got it. That's not.
Meanwhile, Calamity, while you're there in that wonderful warehouse, lots of things on the ground that you're able to find, including a fancy necklace worth 2,500 bits,
Jeez.
aka gold pieces, thanks to Queen Marchesa. So let's see what kind of fancy necklace you find. As this 5d8 is occurring, make sure that those are d8s, by the way, Evan. I know that those are not typically the most common.
Right.
So we have a rare necklace. You can have a necklace of adaptation, which is uncommon. You can have a necklace of fireballs. You can have a necklace of prayer beads. Well, you're not a cleric, druid, or paladin, so never mind. You can have a necklace of fireballs, it seems. Or a necklace of adaptation.
What do those do?
So necklace of adaptation says that you can breathe normally in any environment, and you have advantage on saving throws made against gases and vapors.
That doesn't help me here. What about the fireballs?
Cloud. Necklace of fireballs has a number of beads hanging on it equal to 4. It has 4 beads.
Nice.
You can spend an action and detach a bead and throw it 60 feet away, up to 60 feet away. When it reaches the end of its trajectory, the bead detonates as a 3rd level fireball spell. Save DC of 15. You can hurl multiple beads or the whole necklace as one action. When you do so, you increase the level of fireball by 1 bead.
I'll take that necklace.
That seems
You have
awesome.
you have a necklace of fireballs
Okay.
that has 4 beads.
So I think I'd like to kind of I don't want to destroy the office. Is 1 bead enough to take care of the 2 guards, perhaps?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so let's try that.
Okay, you toss a bead at the location. Put the map back up for me if you would.
Is this before or after my sleep spell?
So your sleep goes off first. What does your sleep do?
5d8, right?
5d8. What's the total?
28.
Okay. Let's see here. 28. Yeah, you are able to put the 2 guards to sleep. And that is what you can see. Those 2 guards are asleep. Or were you trying to throw it at the rig?
The rig guy. I was going for the rig. She's going
Gotcha.
for the guards.
So the
I'm going
rig
for the
guy,
office.
yes, the rig guy and the staircase guy are. So the staircase guy is asleep.
Mhm.
The rig has stopped moving.
Okay. So that is essentially my main action.
Yep, and now you have a move if you want.
Right. So I'd like to move towards the rig
Yep,
with the idea that I can jump into the rig and stab that guy to death.
right. So you are able to get up to the rig with the rest of this action.
Okay.
It is now the goblin's turn. It's now Jane's turn. Top of the round.
She's going to try to ping one of the beads at the 2 guards by the door.
Perfect. Their saves are pretty good. Roll damage on that fireball. I'm not sure it's going to matter because fireball does a freaking lot of damage.
How much was it? 3.
3rd level fireball. which is just a base level fireball, which does
Like 1,000,000 damage.
like 1,000,000 damage. It's one of the best third level spells in the game. 8d6 fire damage,
Jeez.
All right,
or half
so-
as much on a successful save.
Okay, so I'm rolling a d6 8 times.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think there's a way for me to survive this.
3,
Okay.
5,
Huh.
1, 5, 4, 1, 6. Is that 8?
Yeah. That is still going to kill both of them.
Okay.
And it is going to clip the inside of the office.
Okay.
So whoever is in range of that fireball is going to take that fireball damage.
Mm-hmm.
It is also going to light that. It's going to blow that door off
Mm-hmm.
and light a bunch of stuff on fire around it.
Okay.
Because fireball, even though it is magical damage, it specifically says it catches a bunch of stuff on fire.
Right.
Yeah, those guards are taken care of. Looking around the room, well lit by fire now, you do see that this warehouse is not just on fire now, but has been long charred by fire. The reinforced bay doors, you now see are reinforced by iron on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
They're operated by chains and pulleys that are so that they're able to be opened. Would have been quite heavy to try to pull open otherwise. The western wall has a square room, which I mentioned earlier, and the door has the room has a door, or had a door that that faces the center of the room. The catwalk goes all the way around the warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that much of the catwalk on the far side of the room is on fire. There doesn't appear to be anybody else up on the catwalk right now. There were wooden railings that prevented people from just falling off, but again, a lot of it on fire. A lot of it is on fire. There's a big cart in the center of the room that is on that train track,
Mm-hmm.
that is used to move and push and pull goods. It looks like the rig unloaded all of the weapons and goods onto the cart.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the soot-stained statue-like golem thing with its arms sort of lazily hanging at its side. And that's what you see. Well lit by firelight across the room.
Wait, this is a golem inside the office?
No, the golem is the rig. The rig is sort of like a drivable little golem thing.
Gotcha.
So that was you have your movement left.
I would try to run in front of I would just run out from the boxes and try to peer inside the office or just look for Krenko.
Great. As you get to the door, it's a 20 square foot room, 10-foot high ceilings. Looks like this is an office and makeshift living quarters. A lot of the chairs that used to be here are shards of their former selves and currently on fire. There is an upturned table that is on fire as well. You see a cot that is definitely still smoldering. The blankets and pillows that used to sit there are well burned. There is plates and food scraps and all that kind of garbage that has just been blown to pieces by this fireball. And you also spot that there probably is or was a window that has been blown out as well. And the last thing that you notice is behind this upturned table. You can't really see behind the upturned table until 3 goblin faces peek over it. 2 of them wielding crossbows, and it's their turn.
Oh boy.
One of them does indeed have a crown made of shards of metal, and they are all going to take... actually, one of them is going to shoot its crossbow. The other 2 are going to do scimitar attacks.
Scimitar
And
attacks?
these goblins appear to be a little bit burlier And these are goblin bosses, not just regular old-fashioned gerblins.
Can she use her extra action to hide?
You can use your bonus to hide, yeah.
Right.
You want to hide behind the door?
Just
or you want to stay where you are?
Jane, just get out of the way.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm thinking I would, yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
Jane,
you
move!
can duck out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to have to come out of the room in order to try to get you if they spot you. Roll a stealth check.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm going to say that Krenko just is going to get
17.
a shot. Good to know. 17 on the dice or plus?
17 on the dice.
Woo. That's probably a 20 at least, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna roll spot checks to see if they beat your hide.
Okay.
A 1, a 4, and Krenko gets an 18 plus 2, so a 20. So Krenko spots you. I'm gonna say Krenko gets one shot in at you. 12 plus 4, 16. Does a 16 hit your armor class? What's your AC?
14.
14. So it does, yes. Oh boy. Krenko deals you 3 piercing damage, and he rolls a D8 for his crossbow instead of a D6. Yeah. So he pings you a little bit. You're mostly able to dodge out of the way. The other 2 goblins don't necessarily catch you.
I had a healing potion from last week. Do I still have that?
You do.
Okay.
But you've used your bonus, so you'll have to use. So you can drink that as bonus action, but next turn. Those 2 goblins don't see you, and so they're going to stay right where they are, and not shoot. Krenko has taken his action, and you've ducked out of the way, so you don't know what he's doing with his move. And the other goblins inside are going to keep fighting down below, and so their turn is kind of forfeit. Evan, it's your go.
All right. So at this point, I'm on the rig itself.
Yep, you're able to scamper up the rig.
Whoever's driving it is asleep.
You don't know. You can go ahead and look inside.
Oh, well, okay. My thought was that it's like an open. Is it not an open, like a seat?
Let's take a look here. A seat cavity is built into the top of the rig. Yeah, it's open. Okay, so yeah, it's open, so you can just get him.
Let's get him.
Cool. He's unconscious. He's gone. So you stab him and get him out of there. So you hop into the rig. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Roll for me an intelligence arcana check to see if you can figure out how this rig works. If you have proficiency with vehicles, you can add your proficiency. Or if you have proficiency with tinkering.
Nope. I rolled a 2, so I don't really know what in the world's going on.
Okay, well, looking at it right now, you see a bunch of plates and levers. You don't really...
And I'll just bang at whatever.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll for me percentile dice. Roll 2d10.
Okay.
Please let this golem just run loose.
18%.
18.
Yes.
Okay. You accidentally hit a bunch of buttons and swing wildly and demolish one of the crates that's next to you.
Cool.
And it goes flying, debris goes flying. You have figured out how to use the right arm.
Nice.
You still don't know how it moves, and you can't. And it has multi-attack, but you only have one of the attacks right now.
So I've basically used my action at this point.
You used your action to kill the guy,
Right. Okay.
and then you spent a few seconds trying to figure out the machine, which you can try to figure out again next turn as well.
Right.
And you don't know how to move the thing.
No. Okay, so
Okay.
I stay in the rig and we continue.
Yep. Top of the round, Aaron.
So, can I drink my potion now?
You can.
Okay, drink my potion.
Bonus action, drink your potion.
Mm-hmm.
Roll a d4.
Okay.
That's the triangle.
It's a 3.
Okay, so you regain 4 hit points.
Mm-hmm.
1d4 plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
So add that to your hit points.
Okay.
And you have your action.
That's obviously another B2B overkill.
Don't kill Krenko. That's my job.
I know.
Now, theoretically, you can kill him and bring him back to life if you can bring him back to life.
No, I can't do that. I wish. I have a crossbow of my own.
Do.
I just don't know if I can win a crossbow fight with these two.
I got a bomb. Big bomb.
You know that these goblins appear to be a little bit tougher than normal.
Yeah.
So they can probably take a little bit of damage. You don't know exactly how much, but you can foresee them
Taking a bomb's worth.
potentially surviving, maybe, depending on their saving throws. They also successfully hid behind this table the last time, so.
Blow up the table.
Hey, that's actually not bad. I do still have one more spit of my fire blow, right?
Yeah, you do.
Let's try to do that. Let's try to blow up the table.
Okay. As you duck back into the doorway, you do see that two of the goblins are helping the one that's wearing the crown try to get out through that window.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you see.
Mm-hmm.
Get him, Jane. Get him.
Yeah, so I would try to like blow up the table and hope that maybe that's like maybe there's some splash damage or something slows them down or distracts them.
Okay. So I will say that demolishes the table. As that table is demolished, you do see one other thing that was behind that table, which is an iron strongbox. Okay. Just an old style coachman's box that is very heavy and very clearly way too heavy to be taking out the window. And we'll see how they do in terms of not getting distracted. Oh, they all get distracted. All single digits. So blowing up the table shatters the table into them, and they tumble to the ground, and they are all prone on the floor. That was your third use of fire breath. And they are now on the floor, and you're all standing in a room together. Oh my God. What a delightful little item. Sure. Okay. Yep.
Kill him, Jane. Kill him.
So that was your bonus action, your action, and you have a little bit of move left if you want to use it. You can get anywhere in this room, or you can back out again.
Pounce on him, pounce.
And they are prone on the ground. So they'll have to use half of their movement speed to stand up.
How strong is Mage Hand? Like, can I pull? Because what I was thinking of doing is I could like pull him from the window and be like, "Come here," like, and
right?
Like, yeah.
I think 10 pounds is what I could push.
So usually it's 10 pounds, but you have ledger domain because you are an arcane trickster, which means you can do a few more things with it. That gives you more dexterity control rather than strength.
Yeah.
So it's about 10 pounds. So you can shove, push, pull, that kind of stuff, or pickpocket with your mage hand. However, you used your action and your bonus action this turn already. So think about that for next turn.
Okay.
As Krenko falls to the ground, you do see that in addition to the whistle that all of the goblins seem to be wearing individually, Krenko is also wearing a key on a necklace.
I want the key.
Okay. Well, you've used your actions for the
got
turn.
it.
I'm just telling you what you've seen.
Okay.
It is now going to be the goblins, the various sundry goblins' turns. Some of the goblins from the front door notice that there is now a new goblin in town sitting in the rig and are going to take shots at the rig. One of them, oh boy, the rig has an armor class of 18. One of them hits, and the rig takes 7 piercing damage. Fortunately for you, the rig has 39 hit points. So it's at 32 now. and an armor class of 18. This thing is actually like a tank, but it did take damage. So I'm going to make a DC 10 Constitution save with the rig, which it succeeds. Otherwise, it would be incapacitated with a speed of 0 unless you activated it with a DC 10 intelligence check. So you still need to activate it because you still haven't done that. So that was those goblins' turns. Your rig took some damage. The other 3 goblins, Aaron, are going to stand up. 2 of them are going to take shots at you with an 18 and a 20. So you're going to take some damage.
Oh no, Jane.
Ooh.
Oh,
You're going to
no.
take a total of 12 piercing damage.
Chick.
How you doing? How you doing, Jane?
I think I have 6 health left.
Yikes. And Krenko instead is going to try to climb back up out the window, and will not do so. Krenko attempts to climb out, and the crumbling thing just doesn't work, and he falls back down on his butt.
So is it my turn now?
He's going to glare evilly at you. Yes, it is your turn. So to start the turn, go ahead and make a DC 10 intelligence check.
Okay. 2.
Okay.
Still have no
Roll
idea how this thing works.
Roll percentile.
All right, percentiles D10 twice. Ooh, 95%.
All right. I'll say 95 means you get the legs working.
Ooh.
So now you know how to make it move. You still only have one of its arms.
Okay. Well, at this point, I think it's better just to move closer to Jane so that she can either maybe hop in or get behind it or something so she doesn't die.
This is a large construct. It is 10 feet by 10 feet by 10 feet in size. So you're able to
Get away from her.
and Hulkbuster suit your way into
the Goblin Weaver over here.
And so you are we'll say you're in the doorway that you've made. You're now in the doorway you've made.
Mm-hmm.
And you are able to see into the room, and you see the scene that Jane has been partaking in.
Right, so that was essentially my main action, so I won't be able to use anything else. I won't be able to cast any spells.
Correct. The action was to try to see if you could get the thing to move.
Right, so now as my bonus action, I want to hide or disengage so they don't kill me.
I'll let you hide inside the rig.
I'll take it. All right. That's a 10 plus a whatever adds to hiding.
Okay, good to know. That would be stealth dexterity.
Ooh, dexterity is plus 4, so that'd be a 14.
Cool, good to know.
All right.
Top of the round, it is Jane's turn. Jane, you now have a robot ally standing directly behind you. There are 3 goblins in front of you, none of whom have taken any damage, as far as I'm aware. Maybe they took some splash damage from the fireball.
Sure is a nice necklace you got on right there.
One,
Be ashamed if they would explode in flames.
I'll say that the guard goblins have look like they're pretty roughed up. Not dangerously so, but they don't. Maybe on a scale of 1 to 21, they've taken 11 damage. So they have 10.
Also, I don't suppose there's any way to pull the punch. Like if I'm doing the bead thing, it's gonna be in
right. So with the bead, there's no way to know. With your weapons, you can certainly deal non-lethal damage.
Right. I only have 6 hit points left though. So
right.
Do that.
So yeah.
Well, I think whatever happens, you definitely want to try to hide with your bonus action behind.
Yeah, I definitely want to hide.
And then, you can definitely hide behind the robot.
Yeah, maybe I've softened them enough to where the golem can get a pounding in or something.
Or for me, you have a crossbow, right? So if you can crossbow through the head of one of those goblin thugs or whatever, and hide.
Okay,
they'll do whatever to the rig, and then I'll get them.
Let's do that.
Okay,
great. Go ahead and roll an attack with your crossbow.
Okay.
1.
Oh.
Nope, not gonna do it. I'm not gonna punish you too much for your 1. You're still pretty shell shocked by the damage that you took. So you sure. We'll say you get an extra action thanks to Queen Marchesa.
Very nice.
So go ahead and take another attack if you want it.
Wait.
A 20?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, that one lands. Go ahead and roll your damage. So the way that a crit works for weapons damage is that you're going to roll your dice that you would deal with your weapon, then double that dice damage, then add your bonus.
So how many dice am I rolling?
So for a crossbow, I believe you roll 1d6. Is that right?
I keep losing dice. That's my problem.
Where do I see the crossbow damage here?
Should be on your sheet. I can look up crossbow.
No, I see short swords and unarmed strikes.
Okay, let me see what a crossbow damage does. That is why am I not finding it? There we go. Crossbow. A D8.
Okay.
So roll a D8.
All right. Here we go. Okay, so find my 8ers.
What's the number? 1. So double that.
2.
2. Then add your damage that you normally get from your crossbow, which is, I believe, your dexterity.
So that's 5.
Okay. So you deal 2 plus 6, which is 8.
Mm-hmm.
You deal 8 damage to one of these goblins. Not quite enough to... Well, I'm not going to punish the crit. The crit does it. So you take out one of these goblins, you split him right between the eyes, and so one of those goblins is now dead.
Okay.
With the rest of your turn, you can hide behind...
the golem.
You can hide behind the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
And go ahead and roll stealth for me to hide.
Roll good.
Another
Jade?
1?
Jade?
No, it's a 3.
Okay. Good to know. But you are hiding behind a large thing. This still counts as full cover from those goblins.
Got it.
It is going to be the goblins' turns. Krenko so this one's going to be Krenko taking a shot. That's a 19 on the dice, so his will hit 1. So he'll deal...
Who's he attacking? The rig?
The suit, yeah. So he'll take... So the suit's going to take 3 piercing damage. So it's taken 9 total, right?
Right. So if the suit could laugh, it would. Got it.
Right. So it's at 30 of 39 right now.
Mm-hmm.
The other goblin is going to shoot at the rig as well. 11 plus 5 is 16. Patang! It's going to blink off the side and not deal enough damage and go and land sort of cocked in the ceiling, maybe in the door jamb of the top of the ceiling. It is the bottom of the rest of the goblins are still killing each other on the far side of the room. Maybe one more has garnered the attention up here, but it seems like they're still too busy killing each other to be bothered with what's happening over there. So go ahead, Gerb.
I want to squish him. Can I squish the one goblin? Can I squish him?
So you still don't have the full faculties of the rig yet. So go ahead. If you only want one attack, or one, if you're good with 1 arm and 2 legs, we're good. You want to just do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Great. Go ahead and walk up to him and roll an attack.
D20?
Yes, D20.
13.
13 on the dice. Plus 6 is 19.
Mm-hmm.
That's your bonus to hit. That is going to hit the... I'm sorry, what did I say?
19.
19. 19 does hit. They have an armor class of 17. Go ahead and roll a d6 and add 4 to it.
Ooh. 10.
10 will finish off this other goblin. You turn him into goblin paste.
Yeah!
Another goblin boss is no more, and there is only Krenko left in the room. Top of the round, Aaron. As the rest of the goblins continue to fight, it does seem as though maybe their attention is drawn to the office. That is where the mob boss lives and works. And so some of Krenko's gang may know that you're there, but they're still dealing with the Shatter gang.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta get out of here, Jane. Grab Krenko, tie him up, and let's go. I'll make a hole in the wall. We can leave.
Yeah, so do we need to say anything to him, or can we just take him?
He's still alive and at full hit
points. Okay, so he's not going to just let us do this.
Correct.
I can't use sleep again, right? When it comes to my turn.
You can.
Okay. Well,
why not? Why wouldn't you?
I'll just try to sleep him then.
When it's your turn, yeah.
Right, when it's my turn. It is clearly he gets a full turn, and Calamity, you get a full turn.
Calamity, go ahead. Do you know what you'd like to do?
I'm just thinking.
Looks like he's pretty tough. Similar in toughness to those goblin gang bosses that you saw already. They could take a licking and keep on ticking.
Because I have an imp familiar, does that thing have initiative itself?
Oh, right. You have an imp familiar now. No, right. You're familiar. So during the middle of this combat, thanks to the generous strangers in chat, a little imp is now on on Gerb's shoulder and will behave as a familiar for your wizard spells. It acts. It is not technically its own sentient being. It is a fey being, and since it's an imp, it's a fey being, probably of the Shadowfell, that acts and operates as part of your own mind. So it will act on your initiative.
Okay.
So is the golem strong enough to pick up Krenko?
Yes.
Okay. Can I try Hideous Laughter? So Hideous Laughter says, a creature of your choice that you can see perceives everything as hilariously funny and falls into fits of laughter. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or fall prone, becoming incapacitated and unable to stand up for the duration. So if we can make him fall over laughing and the golem can pick him up, we might be able to just burst through.
Right. Would you like to use that ability?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to roll my wisdom save. It is a 10 minus 1, because he's a goblin. What is your wisdom save?
Oh, I roll mine?
What is your spell save DC?
Wasn't it 10?
10.
All right, well, he falls prone and begins laughing hilariously as, what do you say with your hideous laughter? You have a joke for me?
It doesn't say I really say anything. It just says a creature fall within perceives everything as hilariously funny.
Oh, I understand. Okay. So yes. The creature of your choice, hilariously funny. Yep. It is Krenko begins laughing hysterically.
Okay.
Good job, Jane.
At that point I would say, Gerb, grab him and let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay. It is the goblin's turns. The spell says that he gets another save at the start of his turn. And with a 16, he will succeed.
Damn it.
Or sorry, maybe it's the end of his turn. Let's see. Tasha's at the end of each of his turns. So his turn is skipped. At the end of his turn, he is no longer hilariously laughing, but he did not move and did not have an action.
Right. So now it's my turn?
Now it's your turn.
All right. So do I know enough to grab him with the arm?
You also, sorry, by the way, you also had a bonus action, Jane. So if you want to hide or dash or disengage or take another healing potion if you had one. I
would just try to I would imagine her just doing the thing and then hiding back behind the golem.
Okay, roll another stealth check.
Okay.
Gerb?
That's a 5.
Okay, good to know. You want to try to grab Krenko?
Right, because now I know how the right arm works and I can make it move.
Great. I am going to have you make a grapple check. The way grapple checks...
Grapple.
Ooh.
Grapple.
D20.
So the way a grapple check works is that it is an opposed attack roll. What that means is you're going to make a strength check, and I'm going to strength athletics check with the rig. Your strength is +4, Yep. So you're going to add 4 to whatever your D20 roll is.
Okay.
And then Krenko is going to roll acrobatics to try to get out. So
Nice.
I'm going to roll a D20 and add 2. You're going to roll a D20 and add 4. And we'll see if you grab him.
Okay. The roll.
Actually, you have advantage because he's prone.
Oh, thank God, because I rolled a 1. All right, so
You have advantage because he's prone.
I can roll again. 16.
16 beats his 4 plus 2. And so you now have Krenko grappled.
Nice. And is that enough? Is that enough movement to both grab him and like bash through the wall so we can get out of here?
Sure. Yeah, you grab him and then Hulk bust your way through the wall.
Yes.
Top of the round, Jane, you can follow out into the alley as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Great. And now your plan is to just sort of run away with Krenko in your hand.
Well, when you say it like that, it sounds a little stupid. Because we made a whole bunch of noise. The building is mostly on fire. Mm-hmm. Goblins are dead everywhere. We've already killed 2 scary goblins. Krenko is in the claws of this rig.
Mm-hmm. You're out in the alley. The building is almost entirely on fire at this point.
Right.
As you step out into the alley, you do see a couple of goblins in the alley who are waiting outside, one of whom you recognize as the beady-eyed Urko, spots you with Krenko in hand.
Right.
And eyes him and eyes you and says, "You lower him down just a little bit."
No, we
No.
wanted Krenko.
I just lower him down just for a second,
No.
please.
No, we got what we came for.
I just want to smack him. All right, fine, go. And they will proceed into the building as you walk past.
Nice. So now, if I put him to sleep, we'll have time to essentially, wrap him up in some rope.
Yep.
And then we can take
Krenko,
him from
as he is wriggling, he says, "I don't know who you are, but just let me go. I'll give you whatever you want. I'll give you the whole lockbox. I'll give you everything." Or strong box. I'll give you everything in the strong box.
I don't want what's in the strong box. What I would like is my dad. Can you give me my dad back?
Who's your dad?
Exactly.
And I cast sleep.
Okay. Roll 5d8.
All right. 5d8 total is 26.
Yeah, that'll do it. As Krenko begins to fall asleep, he says, Wait, what are you doing? I can make you a deal. Just let me
Wrap him up, Jane. Let's get out of here.
All right.
Great. So we'll say that for the sake of the inelegance of televised Dungeons and Dragons, we'll say that this has worked. You are able to abscond with Krenko.
Ooh.
And you are able to take him to the handoff point. So,
Which was where again?
Which was an old. Oh, that was the Celestia thing. That was the old granary.
Gotcha.
The old granary silo. You were right. I completely forgot about that.
Right.
There was a Celestia thing that I just was stupid and forgot. Lot to keep track of. I apologize.
Yeah.
So you do get back up to that old granary silo as the rain is now intensifying. It is about a downpour at this point. And you head to the outskirts of the 10th district. You're directed to the old granary that Nazius picked as the rendezvous point. The wet, crumbling clay building sits out in an unintended field and is overgrown with all manner of vegetation, almost completely reclaimed by the wild. As you get there, Nazius steps out of the entryway onto the field, holding a small purse and flanked by 2 heavily armed guards. At this point, Krenko is awake again, And Nazia says, well done. I have your payment here. Please place him on the ground.
Just a second.
And I grab out my dagger.
Okay.
I go,
This one's for me.
and I put a long blade right there.
And this one's for my dad.
And I put a long one right there. And I throw him on the ground.
My name is Gerbian Clinkbottom. You killed my father. All right. Go ahead and roll 2d4
Okay.
for those slicing damages.
You got it. 2d4 is 2.
Okay.
Total.
So Krenko's going to take 2 damage as you throw him to the ground. So there are a couple of veterans who show no obvious guild or guild pact identification, who are flanking Nazius, and they move from Nazius's side and collect the bound Krenko on the ground. It is raining quite heavily here in the middle of the night.
Which feels good after the fire we were just in. Like,
there you go. Did you question him at all?
Nazius?
Nazius is asking. Did you question him at all?
He was
no, we
asleep.
really
for most
didn't have
of it.
time to.
And he sort of eyes you to see if you're telling the truth, which of course you are. He seems to accept your answer. What did the goblins say to you? If
We
any?
really didn't do a lot of talking.
He offered us whatever we wanted.
And he eyes you a little bit closer to see if you're lying, which of course you're not. And as this is occurring, Krenko says, no, he's not who he approached. And the guards put a gag in Krenko's mouth. Thank you for your aid. This will shine well upon your station with the Guild Pact. And thank you very much for your cooperation.
Where were you taking him?
I can I see him for a second? Does he still have that little key around him?
Krenko had the key, yeah.
Okay. I might at that point I might be like, I just want one
We
more
can
thing.
say that you took the key on the route over, if you want.
No, I wanted to do it now as a way.
Okay.
Maybe.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
So I might just be like, hold on one second there. And so I would, as I go to reach for the key, can I like maybe swipe away the gag or like take the gag out or?
Sure.
Okay. So I would look like I'm going for the key, but while I'm at it, I would whoop and then.
And take the gag out?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're hoping that Krenko will continue his train of thought?
Yeah.
As you take the key and pull the gag, the guards shove you away. Krenko says, he's not who he appears to be. He's not with the Guild Pact. He's not...
And then I say, it's Nazius.
Nazius.
Nazius? Who?
Yes.
What guild are you with?
I'm not with any guild.
So you're not with any guild? Who are those guys with?
We're with the Guild Pact.
Mm-hmm. Jane?
You're going to believe a mob boss? You're going to believe Krenko?
How about me and Jane go with you to take Krenko to the Guild Pact?
I don't think that's a good idea.
I think that's a terrific idea. Jane, do you think that's a terrific idea?
Be careful here, little goblin. We've had an amicable agreement.
My amicableness, I'm gonna stab that guy in the face. That's amicable.
I appreciate your passion.
Jane's just kind of running her hands across the necklace and just.
And I'm just getting angrier.
Are Krenko's hands free?
No.
No.
He's all
Not even a little bit?
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit. Okay.
You bound them.
No,
and now with the veterans have certainly put handcuffs on.
Okay, so because sometimes, like, even if you're cuffed, there's still, like, wiggle room. Like,
sure. Behind his back, he may have hands, like fingers.
So is a dagger that is linked to the cult of Orcus have anything to do with our situation currently, and or could help us?
Yeah, while you're pickpocketing... Ooh, interesting. While you're pickpocketing Krenko and grabbing that key and taking the gag out, you recall earlier you were told that there was a magic shiv that Krenko had that could theoretically punch through force barriers. It isn't known how Krenko obtained that weapon. You find yourself in the possession of a magic shiv as well. And so now you have that. You don't know what it does. You don't know if it's dangerous or cursed or anything.
So now we're in like a weird standoff.
Nazius is saying, just go home. I may have more work for you in the future, if you're interested.
And I'm, and I'm just like walking with them as they're like taking Krenko.
At this point, you see out from the shadows, as you are walking with them, you see 6 soldiers emerging from various decrepit houses, none of whom have guild or guild pact insignias on them, and begin to obstruct your path.
Jane!
As they stand in front of you and prevent you from moving any further, Nazius takes the purse and tosses it off in your direction. The coins inside scatter. It is the payment that was agreed upon, which is, of course, let me find the payment. I think this was 100 on delivery.
Sounds about right.
Let me see here. Yep. 100 Xenos, and my gratitude, which I will convey to your guild leaders. 100 Xenos spill out onto the floor as the rain continues to pour. Nazius and you all stare at each other, and another cow enters the scene.
Just lazily walk.
Just lazily across this standoff, silent. Like wah 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 wah.
Oh, I have prestidigitation. Is there any way that I could do like a smoke bomb type effect of like try to like and then grab Krenko and go?
You can certainly try.
That's not a good idea, Jane.
Okay, so I'm just.
And I mean, and Gerb is just conflicted because like he's not trying to save Krenko. Just wants to know what is happening.
This might be something that you have to go investigate further.
Yeah, I think Jane would feel the same way. Like Jane would be curious about it, but I think she's also dangling on 6 hit points. So I think if she were in a better place, she would do something about it. But I think for now she's inclined to just let it happen, take the gold, and then we launch and we had one mission and now the mission's turned into another mission. So
I'll angrily pick up the Xenos while you kind of...
You're saying, so again, just to kind of hammer the point home, Krenko has no wiggle room.
Probably not. If you tell me what your plan is, and I can tell you... I was
thinking of giving him the necklace and just saying...
Oh, there's no way.
Okay.
You can hand him the necklace.
Okay.
You can try to mage hand it to him.
But then we're going to see a...
you would have to have a high stealth check.
Yeah.
To be able to like that scene from Catch Me If You Can 2, where they try to sneak the Ace of Spades through security. Like you'd have to roll.
All right. Yeah, I think just let him have him, and then we'll have to get to work on who this guy is.
Yeah, next time.
And as the standoff ends, Nazius and his 2 veterans wander off into the darkness as the thunder rolls and the rain continues to fall. You find yourself.
But does the lightning strike?
Sure. Once or twice, off in the distance.
Sort of over your head.
I got it.
I'm screaming at him,
Yeah.
Gerb Clinkbottom took you down, Krenko. Did you forget my name? Mr. Clinkbottom was my father.
And now Krenko knows who you are, which is interesting.
Good.
And Nazius walks off to the Guild Pact, presumably, to take Krenko in. And you both take your 100 Xenos and head back to the Millstone, I would assume.
Mm-hmm. Mama's got to rest.
Cut to a scene where it is still quite heavily raining, but underneath an awning, a menagerie is beginning to grow. 2 ponies and 2 cows now tied up to posts in a nice little manger in the back of the millstone where the animals are kept. They are happy. They are content. The horses pitter-pattering their back feet because they are magical.
Yeah.
Inside the millstone, Calamity Jane and Gerb Clinkbottom sit and commiserate for a moment.
Is this the one that has the Minotaur guy?
This is the one where Wyroon the Minotaur holds court. You do also see that it is busier this evening. You also spot that Phalish, the weapons dealer that you had met at one point, is now dressed in civilian clothes. A nice trench coat and some buckles and things like that. And is sitting at the far end of the bar and saw you all walk in. It's not making any movement towards you. You all can have a table or a bench to yourselves. And yeah. So do you have anything you'd like to discuss as the evening winds down?
So conflicted, Jane.
I think she just wants to heal at this point. Like, it's just, she's overwhelmed emotionally and physically. I think it's like, we'll discuss this in the morning.
But I hate him, Jane. I hate him so much.
And you are able to get some beverage and some food in you. There is steak, just not of the cows that you've been gifted, of course. And you are able to fill up your stomachs and have a nice rest. Rooms are on Wyroon, he says, as a little wink is given. By morning time, you wake up, come downstairs, and Wyroon mentions, once you're both there and have your breakfast in front of you, that a message has come to Jane and Gerb from Nazius. And that's where we'll end tonight's episode of The Heart of Svothgos.
Ooh.
As we put the end of this chapter, the end of the Krenko chapter, or so it seems, of the adventure. And next week we will pick up with why this show is called Heart of Svothgos, everybody. Because there is another mission to be had.
Ooh.
And so that's where we will end. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Much appreciated to all of the folks in chat who gave bits. Queen Marchesa, thank you so much, 14,200 bits.
Wow.
Chris RD, 19,514 bits. And those cows, oh my, those cows.
So many of the cows. So many.
There's another bit here that Krenko tells about a bigger plan involving the Obzadot.
Ooh.
The problem is that anything that Krenko says, you don't really know if you can trust, right? We're dealing with a bunch of people who lie and cheat and steal. So Krenko may have said such a thing, but I don't know how much weight you put into that. Maybe 200 bits worth. Anyway, we will pick up where we've left off this morning at the Millstone. But for now, we're going to call it an evening. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Ruben Bressler. You can follow me at MOXREUBY. Please be sure to also follow at Magic Mike's Cast on Twitter. Give us a like, a favorite, a subscription, whatever that your social media preference tells you to do. A follow on your podcast of choice, Libsyn, iTunes,
Spotify.
whatever. Spotify. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
and we'll pick up here next week. Go ahead and do some outro things.
All right. Well, thanks a lot to everybody for tuning in. Obviously, thank our bit givers and whatnot. This has been Mike's and Magic, the Heart of Svothgos. Thank you so much to Ruben for being our guild master.
Yeah, I am super pleased with how that went. That was good.
And thank you so much to Aaron for being Calamity Jane.
Yeah, thank you. I feel like it's timely that I hung up the mountain and now I'm spitting fire. Like,
right, there you go. That fire breath came in useful. Good gift. Good bit given.
And Gerb would approve of this episode.
There we go. So join us tomorrow night for Magic Mike's, right here on this here channel, right about this time, actually. Maybe a little bit
About
hence.
24 and a half hours away.
Right. So 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific for Magic Mike's. And then join us here again next week for Mike's and Magic.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys next time.